Sorry, just got to make sure we're actually up. Shit's being stupid. One final last-ditch effort for Cincinnati to go bowling in the second season as a member of the Big 12 Conference. Alongside Jack Ritchie, I'm Ethan Herzog. And Jack, it's down to the wire here for Cincinnati. They host the TCU Horned Frogs. TCU have 7 wins on the year. Cincinnati coming in with only 5 in their second season as members of the Big 12. And what's kind of the goal for Cincinnati tonight other than trying to punch that ticket and secure for sure their trip to their first bowl game in a couple of years?
Well, obviously, Cincinnati, the last couple of weeks on the road, they've been struggling to get any wins, especially against some of the best talent in the Big 12, as we saw them go up against Kansas State. But for the Bearcats, not only getting a chance at a bowl game this season, but also just trying to build on that momentum and improving from last year's 3-win season for Cincinnati, trying to improve Satterfield, getting this team back to hopefully what we know the Bearcats before in the last couple of seasons, getting obviously to the college football playoff in 2021, but also trying to get them to the top of the Big 12 Conference. But I also think tonight it's nip at night. It's very cold out as we saw pregame, but hopefully there's going to be a decent crowd out here tonight. Hopefully the Bearcats can try to get their 6th win of the year.
Spent some time down on the field. It's brutally cold. Brutally cold here. It's the end of November 30th, 2024. It's senior night here for Cincinnati. We'll touch on that here as the pregame show goes on. Bearcats are led by second-year head coach Scott Satterfield, the 2018 Sun Belt and 2019 ACC Coach of the Year. Had stints at both App State and Louisville as a head coach before being hired on at Cincinnati. He had an 8-5 first stop at Louisville, but would end with a 7-5 year at Louisville, and then has amassed a total of 8 wins so far in his tenure here at Cincinnati. And there's been some doubts about this team and about the head coaching position, and just overall some discrepancies when you look at this Bearcats team. But there's definitely some kind of fight when it comes to this team, and you've seen it through a lot of the seniors who have had the chance. They had a chance to leave last year after they finished with 3 wins on the season. And a lot of people look to Corey Kiner, Dante Corleone, who definitely could have had their shot to leave and go to a different program to see if they could maybe boost their stats, boost their draft stock, if you will. But they ended up staying and being loyal to Cincinnati.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of seniors have been major contributors for the Cincinnati team all around all year. So obviously tonight on senior night, it's a little bit of a different feeling for these seniors, trying to get at least one more opportunity to play for Cincinnati, trying to get a bowl game. So hopefully tonight that'll start to show, as some of these seniors who they've been just huge leaders for a team that has a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent on this team, trying to look up to those veterans to try to produce. But for Cincinnati, this is a team that, a lot of these guys are going to be gone next year. And as sad as that is, this is one of those last opportunities for not only the home crowd, but also all of us in Cincinnati Bearcat Nation to see them out on the field one more time.
Mason Fletcher, Corey Kiner, Evan Prater, a couple of the seniors that are going to be honored tonight, 29 in total. Eric Phillips, Xavier Henderson, a couple more as well. And talking about Corey Kiner, he is 1,000 yards again on the season. He's the first Bearcat in some time to manage that feat in back-to-back years. He's the 5th Bearcat to do so. Michael Warren leads that front. He did it in 2018 and 2019. Isaiah Peed, Reggie Taylor, and James Bettis all did the same. He's also 9th all-time in career rushing at UC. He has 2,452 total yards. He's trailing James Bettis by, I'd say, about 40 or so yards. So we could see him clinching that 8th place spot all time in Cincinnati history. But he's been a focal point of Cincinnati's offensive attack, especially in the rushing game. And I went to high school with him. I was able to call his games his senior year of high school, and watching the impressive transition from him going to LSU and then playing a year there and then transferring back to Cincinnati. I mean, he's been lights out for Cincinnati, has been a very strong workhorse, but that's not to say that the entire running back room really doesn't have a chance to shine.
No, definitely, and especially Corey Kiner's been really big this year because obviously Evan Pryor, the transfer from Ohio State who came in here, who's most likely going to take the reins next year and be the star in the running back room for the 2025 season. But Corey Kiner, the hometown kid, just like you said, he's been producing at a high level all season long, even when maybe Sorsby in the passing offense hasn't been as efficient recently. Corey Kiner's always seemed to step up. This rushing offense is one of the best in the Big 12 in this 2024 season. So that's definitely been all of Corey Kiner.
Pryor is currently second in the running back room, but third overall on the team in rushing yards total. He has 421 off 52 attempts with 6 total touchdowns on the year with a long of 65, which he broke out with against Arizona State. Brendan Sorsby is second on the team in total yards rushing and has been that staple at the quarterback position. And he's had his ups and downs, but Sorsby overall, I mean, he's done a fine job as the quarterback at Cincinnati and has led some very strong drives for the Bearcats. He has 18 touchdowns and 6 interceptions on the year with just under 2,700 passing yards, but definitely moving in the right direction and possibly, if he stays next year, a good stepping stone to continue this upward trend for Cincinnati.
Yeah, and that's been a really big question mark all along. Cincinnati's, not only I've seen a lot on social media, but it just kind of been around the team. Is Brendan Sorsby going to enter the transfer portal? Obviously, just like I said earlier, a lot of seniors leaving. A lot of those key offensive weapons for Sorsby in this offense is gone starting next season. So it's going to really, we'll have to see if Sorsby really truly believes in Satterfield and this team, that he knows that if he stays here next year, if they can win with him at quarterback. But, you know, if he leaves, that's another really big problem for this offense, who are already losing a bunch of offensive production. But the one big thing I want to see from Brendan Sorsby is we saw him a lot early in the season, really threw the deep ball really well. He threw really good passes. He didn't really force anything. We've kind of seen that with some of the interceptions in the last couple of weeks, where he's kind of like forced stuff. He hasn't really thrown it in a clean pocket sometimes, but I really want to see him tonight, even though it is a cold night, maybe try to spread out that TCU defense by throwing it downfield.
And looking at some of Sorsby's targets, I mean, Xavier Henderson, he stayed last year. He transferred in from Florida. He has 692 yards and 4 touchdowns, but Tony Johnson and Joe Royer as well, 2 very strong receiving threats, especially Joe Royer, another local Cincinnati kid who went to Elder High School, went to Ohio State, didn't see much time on the field up with the Buckeyes, and then transferred back down to Cincinnati to hopefully get a little bit more playing time and play in front of a home crowd. And he's had a standout year at the tight end position. Yeah,
Royer's been very, very good. I watched him a little bit at Ohio State. I also watched Evan Pryor. Those two both have been really good options and weapons for this offensive production for Cincinnati. And Joe Royer is one of those reliable guys that we've seen Sorsby, dump it down underneath sometimes when maybe those long balls really aren't working. You can see in the stat sheet almost just under 500 yards on the year from Joe Royer, and only his sophomore season, his first true offensive season where he's really seen a lot of playing time all around the field. So it's really going to be interesting to see how he evolves if he stays going the next season, because he can be a really, really good weapon for this offense.
And looking at some of the speed as well, I mean, you have Evan Pryor, and they're really that home run hitter when it comes to Cincinnati. You've seen him in the running game and the passing game. Evan Pryor, to be specific, has 161 yards and an 80-yard long reception for a touchdown. It's his only touchdown on the receiving front, but Jamoy Mays and Tony Johnson both really have that speed. Xavier Henderson has the height to really get it done.
Yeah, and that's also a really good thing for Sorsby, is that he has all these options. He can spread the ball all around. I mean, not only at running back where he can maybe throw it on screens or just dumping it down to the flat, but he also has really good receivers in. And also the offensive line has had some question marks this season, but obviously when you have an All-American in Luke Kandra, it's pretty easy to have some space and time to throw the ball.
Another one of the seniors graduating this season, Luke Kandra, who has had a fantastic season As another senior Bearcat who I also went to high school with, Nigel Mooney, is getting honored right now. I forgot that he was also a senior senior at the University of Cincinnati, so good for him. That Roger Bacon team in 2020 was something else. Just a game shy of a state title would have been their first in program history. But I digress here. We'll talk about the Cincinnati defense here moving out and looking. You've got Jared Bartlett, Antoine Peak Jr., and Dante Corleone, who some very key threats here for Cincinnati's defense. Jared Bartlett leads the team in sacks with 7.5, along with Eric Phillips and Dante Corleone, who have 4 and 3.5 respectively. But it's going to be a lot of getting pressure on this TCU team that's going to get it done.
Yeah, TCU's offense is really, really efficient passing the ball. They haven't really ran it as well as you would like to, but especially to what you were just saying, the pass rush has to be evident tonight. They have to get to the quarterback. TCU's quarterback, Josh Hoover, has been one of the best in the conference, not only statistically, but just pure efficiency-wise. He has been very, very good, and especially on senior night, some of these seniors on the defensive line, this would be definitely sweet if they could get some sacks in the backfield.
Moving over to TCU, they are 7-4 on the year, 5-3 in conference play. They beat Stanford to open up the season and would lose to SMU 66-42. SMU ranked high in this college football playoff poll and is projected to be in the first ever 12-team college football playoff, and would also lose their conference season opener to UCF by 1 point, 35-34. But since then, it's been a bit of an off and on year for TCU. They are on a 2-game winning streak. They last beat Arizona 49-28. But like you said, they have had some struggles rushing the football. But you look at that passing game, they have a couple of receivers over 500 yards on the season so far, and one over 1,000 yards on the season in wide receiver Jack Beck.
Yeah, this TCU offense is definitely going to give Cincinnati problems. We've seen Cincinnati really struggle with very, very efficient passing offenses, just like Colorado, for example, where even if they drop a lot of the secondary back, it always seems like there's holes in that secondary that TCU hopefully will try to capitalize on tonight if they're trying to game plan against the Cincinnati secondary. But as I said, Hoover's been very, very good, but also, just like you said, multiple receivers with over 500 receiving yards, and especially Jack Beck, who has been absolutely dominant. He's averaging over 90 yards a game receiving. That's really, really good, especially in the Big 12, where usually sometimes there can be good defenses, but we've seen a lot of points by this TCU offense. Jack Beck especially, he was a transfer from LSU. There's a lot of really, really good transfers in this offense that have came from powerhouse teams like JoJo Earl, who came from Alabama. J.P. Richardson came from Oklahoma State. So there's definitely a lot of different offensive weapons that Hoover can look for throughout the game tonight that Cincinnati is going to have to react.
Savon Williams, J.P. Richardson, Eric McAllister, and Jack Beck all have over 500 receiving yards on the season. Richardson and McAllister both over 600, and Jack Beck, like we mentioned, with 1,007 rushing yards and 9 total touchdowns to lead the TCU Horned Frogs in scoring. Now looking defensively at the TCU Horned Frogs, the leader defensively stands as Devin Deal with 7.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks in total, with a pass breakup and 3 quarterback hits on the season. And it's just going to be, what can the Cincinnati offensive line do to protect Brendan Sorsby in the pocket?
Yeah, the TCU defensive front has been very, very good, especially, and also their secondary has been very, very efficient. They have a lot of veterans back there in the secondary for TCU. 9 out of their 10 secondary players, if that's either first string or second string, are all upperclassmen. They have a lot of experience in the back of the field, and that could be definitely a problem for Cincinnati, for a team that really likes to throw the ball a lot. I mean, they also mix it up with Corey Kiner and Evan Pryor quite a bit, but I think that getting that protection, like you said, giving Sorsby time to throw it is really going to have to be the key to the game. This TCU team, who's given up 30 points in half of their games this season, this defense hasn't been that great. So if Cincinnati can capitalize on that, I feel like it might be a little bit of a shootout here tonight. Even though it's a cold night, both of these defenses have really struggled to allow points.
We've previewed both sides, and we're going to take a short break, then come back and talk about the overall landscape of the college football world as we enter the final weekend of the regular season. It's Cincinnati football here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Stay tuned. Countdown to kickoff here at Nippert Stadium. About 14 minutes on that game clock right across from us. Jack Ritchie, Ethan Herzog here with you. And taking a look at the college football playoff bracket so far, your teams that are in include, but are not limited to, Tennessee, Georgia, Oregon, Boise State, Arizona State, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, Miami, Texas, Notre Dame, and SMU. But we might see some seed shaking coming up here as some big upsets all across college football so far, including, which I'm happy about and you're not so happy about, in Michigan taking down Ohio State 13-10 earlier today in the game, which was, regardless of whoever you are affiliated with, good game so far, hard fought, and honestly pinnacle of Big Ten football if you ask me.
It was a typical Big Ten game, absolutely. I think Ohio State just played down to their competition today, and it, obviously, as I am an Ohio State fan at heart, definitely a heartbreaker today in Columbus in the game, but I still think Ohio State has a chance to make a run for the national championship. I still think that they could even host a playoff game still. I don't think they'll fall that far in the rankings, especially with all the chaos that's been happening this year in the playoff picture. Obviously, last night, if you stayed up, Georgia barely beat Georgia Tech in 7 or 8 overtimes last night.
Yes.
It was crazy. So there's just been chaos all year long, especially in the SEC and also especially in the Big 12, which Arizona State, who I saw was winning 35-0 at halftime, which will clinch their spot in the Big 12 title game, a team that Cincinnati beat just a couple weeks ago, which is just pretty crazy.
It's incredible how the parity works in college football. And mentioning that Georgia Tech game. It was a 44-42 final in overtime that would scrape by Georgia would against in-state rival Georgia Tech. Boise State will host the Mountain West Conference title game against an opponent to be named soon. And looking at some of the current scores across college football in the top 25, Penn State and Maryland are going at it right now. 10:56 left in the third quarter. Penn State's up 31-7 against the Terrapins. USC trailing by 1 to Notre Dame, 21-20 in a Big Ten independent matchup on CBS. 9:06 left in the third quarter. Number 6 Miami is playing against Syracuse, and they're tied up at 28 in the middle of the third quarter. SMU dominating California currently 21-0 with 9:13 remaining here in the third quarter. And who would have thought that SMU would be such a standout team coming into their first year in the ACC?
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have, including myself, especially in an ACC where I feel like there's been your standout teams like Miami and Clemson where like you would not have, there's just no way SMU would be almost getting a bye now if they win their conference championship game. It's just kind of crazy to think about. But even like Alabama's only up 8 points at halftime to Auburn. It's just these powerhouse schools that we've seen dominate the playoff picture for the last decade have just not been performing like we expect them to. And I still think there's going to be a lot more chaos to be seen, especially tonight in the 7 o'clock games.
It's an incredibly strange landscape, but very much due to the transfer portal that has opened up, and we're going to touch on that. So we're going to toss it down to the field for the national anthem. Be right back with continued coverage with our pregame show.
Dr. Ellis's contribution to Cincinnati athletics has been and will continue to impact the lives of student athletes, both past, present, and into the future. Today, we ask fans to join us in a moment of reflection for Dr. R. Ellis and for all Bearcats who have passed this year. Their contributions are what make this university a very special place. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able and join in singing the University of Cincinnati Alma Mater, conducted by Interim Associate Band Director Alex Beltran. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of colors by the Pershing Rifles. At this time, we ask that you remain standing, place your hand over your heart, remove your hat, and join the Bearcat Band in honoring America. Please join the UC Bearcat Band in the singing of our national anthem, conducted by the Director of Bearcat Bands, Mr. Christopher J. Nichter.
Countdown to kickoff here at Nippert Stadium. And going back to the topic that was at hand before we went to that break, and I mean, the transfer portal is really what's shaping college football, and you look at it across both college football and basketball and every sport that's sponsored by the NCAA, because that's kind of what the direction is taking, and that's why you see a lot of these teams struggling that were perennial powerhouses, especially in the SEC. When you look at Alabama, who is third down and goal from the Auburn 3, about to extend their lead in the Iron Bowl, but you have that in Arizona up against Arizona State up against Arizona 35-7, but just a lot of parity going on in college football, and it's really getting exciting down the stretch, to say the least.
Yeah, and even for Cincinnati, we see Brendan Sorsby coming in from the portal. That impact that it just has, even on maybe a name that most people probably wouldn't know, but Sorsby definitely making his name known as he is playing longer here in his first season as a starting quarterback. But even when I look at Ohio State, there's so many transfers that were huge. Like Caleb Downs today had another interception. I think he's one of the best defensive backs in all of football. Just huge transfers that can impact the game on so many different levels, as well. Even Will Howard, who did struggle today against Michigan, but he has been a reliable quarterback all season long. Just so many quarterbacks and so many players that have impacted teams all around college football.
Looking at the rest of the ranked matchups coming up tonight, on FS1 at 7 o'clock, number 10 Indiana takes on Purdue in an in-state rivalry. Oregon and Washington go at it. Oregon looking for their first Big Ten championship berth as members of the conference. Number 3 Texas and number 20 Texas A&M go at it at 7:30 p.m. on ABC, and that's going to be a marquee matchup coming and will really affect Texas's standing in the college football playoff moving forward. Number 24 Kansas State, number 18 Iowa State, and Farmageddon is at 7:30 tonight on Fox. Nevada and number 22 UNLV will be tonight at 8 o'clock on the CBS Sports Network. Houston, number 19 BYU go at it 10:15 on ESPN in Provo. And some finals from tonight other than Michigan and Ohio State. Number 8 Tennessee came back and would take down Vanderbilt 36-23. South Carolina upset Clemson 17-14, a 15-12 upset between the Gamecocks and the Tigers. Number 23 Illinois would beat Northwestern 38-28 in another in-state rivalry. And looking at sort of the rest of that slate, Memphis would beat Tulane 34-24, a big-time upset.
Yeah, that's
for the
a big-time upset. And also going back to the Texas A&M game, I'll tell you what, if the Aggies can take down the Longhorns tonight, the whole college football picture is going to be shaken up with Texas losing if they lose tonight, and also Ohio State losing, and Georgia scraping by last night. I mean, there could be some there will be some shifting on Tuesday's rankings, but especially going into conference championship week. We'll have to see. Some of these matchups in the first round are going to be really, really interesting. Whoever's hosting them, based on location. I saw in this last rankings, Arizona State would be going to Columbus to play, and talk about just the weather impact. Going from Tempe, Arizona to Columbus, Ohio in December is definitely a big difference. So definitely going to be cool to see those first round matchups going into the second round, how that's going to affect the college football playoff.
I remember seeing the projection a couple weeks ago when Alabama was slated to play in Bloomington in the playoff, and that would have been incredible.
Crazy. Yeah, but I mean, obviously they came into Columbus, talked a little talk, and obviously Ohio State took care of business. But I still think Indiana's a good team. I think they can definitely still make a run in the playoff. They have really good coaching. I think that a lot of the guys they brought over from James Madison as well, they all can really affect it. And I think that's the beauty now with this 12-team playoff, is that before it was just the 4 best teams. Obviously Cincinnati in 2021 were fortunate to get in the playoff, but now we'll see some of these smaller teams, especially like Boise State or even Arizona State, teams that we've never really seen in the playoff, to have a chance at a national championship.
I mean, you got Boise State and one of the Heisman frontrunners in Ashton Genty, and I mean, he is just incredible.
He's my Heisman.
He's my Heisman too. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of the Travis Hunter talks, and no shade to Travis Hunter. He's a great player.
He is, but I don't think that he is. Here's how I look at it. Here's something I saw on Twitter as well, is that if Boise State didn't have Ashton Genty, they would not have won half the games that they did this year.
Correct.
If Travis Hunter hadn't played at all at Colorado, Colorado would have been fine.
Yeah.
Because Colorado is just a talented team. We see what Coach Prime's done in Boulder with his sons and everything out there. So I think Colorado would have been fine.
Yeah.
So that's how I think they should really decide this is if you're going to be missing that piece, that is that Heisman, how would that affect the hypotheticals, which, I mean, is the whole college
That's a good way to look
at
at
point,
it, especially. Well, everyone,
it's big time.
Everyone says that, Ashton Genty goes against Mountain West competition, but, I mean, the dude's about to break Barry Sanders' rushing record. That's not an easy feat to do, even if you're in the MAC.
Yeah, I don't care what conference you're in. 2,000 rushing yards is not hard, is not easy.
No.
It's really not. And, I mean, it's not like you see big-time schools doing that either.
No.
There's not There are very few running backs that can say that they have rushed for 2,000 yards in a season alone.
Definitely.
Which is incredible.
And it's not like he has 5 All-Americans blocking for him either.
No, he doesn't.
Obviously Boise State's a good team. They have some good offensive linemen, but you have to be a pretty good running back to run for that amount of yards.
And final thoughts about the whole Big Ten shakeup here, and your standings for the Big Ten: Oregon, Indiana, Penn State, and Ohio State are your top 4. And should, I believe, if Indiana wins tonight big against Purdue, they will be in the Big Ten championship against Oregon. Should Oregon win?
Okay, I wasn't sure how that worked because
Ohio State's now in 4th with their second loss.
Yeah. Okay.
So that, and then Penn State, I believe Indiana has a tiebreaker against Penn State.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know for sure.
All right.
Anyway, back to the game at hand. We're finally underway. Nathan Hawk sends out a booming kick, and it's fielded at the 5-yard line. Fair caught. They'll take it at the 20, and TCU won the toss, Cincinnati won the toss, elected to defer to the second half. So the Horned Frogs will get it for the first time tonight to open up this contest. Quarterback making his way out, Josh Hoover, standing at 6'2", 200 pounds, the sophomore quarterback to lead this team. As TCU Horned Frogs is not out on the field. It'll be a Wildcat formation, and number 3, Savion Williams. And I just lied. It is Josh Hoover. He was hiding under center, and the white jerseys all meshed together, and I couldn't see it. But 2 receivers to the bottom now for TCU. Hoover goes in motion to direct snap to Williams instead. He moves up the right side of the field and gets smacked to the floor after a 3-yard gain, brings up second down.
Great defense right there by Cincinnati. You stack a couple guys in the box and then laying the boom right there out of the Wildcat. Good start by the defense for Cincinnati.
It's a big-time hit for Cincinnati. You're going to see a lot of that here tonight. Josh Hoover claps once, calls off the play, and he's going to audible here really quick on 2nd down and 7 from the 28-yard line for the Horned Frogs. The 3-3-5 setup here for Cincinnati's defense. They've had it all season. Hoover takes a shotgun snap, rolls out to his right. He's throwing on the run. It's going to be overthrown. Intended receiver J.P. Richardson, the 6 foot even senior, on the play.
Yeah, and there's some chirping down there already. A lot of intensity, but great defense right there by Armani Arnold right here on our near sideline, not allowing for that pass to be completed already. A nice 3rd down here for the Cincinnati defense trying to get off the field.
Josh Hoover beating Cincinnati for the first time. It's the first time in a long time these two teams have met. Goes back to the CUSA days. Hoover takes a shotgun snap, dropping back. Pressure coming, throws it away, and it's going to be incomplete. Thrown to the feet of Savion Williams, and it brings up 4th down.
Jordan Young on the coverage right there on the other sideline. And how about the Bearcats secondary? Not allowing for Hoover to get the passing game going. We saw 2 straight incompletions, and we'll have to see what Sorsby and the offense can do now after the punt.
That's going to be a big-time matchup to watch out for, too. 2 young quarterbacks, and Brendan Sorsby and Josh Hoover going at it. Forces a 3-and-out for TCU, and the punter is going to come out for the Horned Frogs. Almost blocked and a flag thrown on the play. Ball's going to bounce straight into Des Moines Mays, and he muffed it, and TCU says they have it.
Oh, my goodness.
If they do, they'll have it at the 29-yard line of Cincinnati.
Absolute disaster for the special teams. There was a flag. I don't know if it was roughing or running into the kicker, but it's not going to matter because there was a muff punt, and TCU's going to be set up at the 30.
Special teams miscues has been a theme all season long for Cincinnati. So you wait on the flag to be called. I'm sure it'll be declined, and it'll just be 1st and 10 for TCU at the 29.
Yeah, I saw the TCU head coach, waving his arms to decline it.
Running into the kicker.
We'll be running into.
That penalty's decline. First down.
It will be first down,
Wow.
TCU, and I mean, that's just, especially for the defense, that has to be frustrating.
Oh.
I mean, you forced a strong 3-and-out for TCU's offense, and now you're right back onto the field after a muff punt.
Well, also, it was running into the kicker, so it would have been a 5-yard penalty anyway. It wouldn't even have been a first down. So if you didn't muff the punt there, you probably still would have got off the field and just had to re-kick it.
And it honestly didn't even seem like it was a muff. It was more of a Jamoy Mays was in the wrong spot, and the ball bounced into his chest. So it brings up a new set of downs for TCU. Here's Josh Hoover again. Takes the snap, hands it off to the left side, trying to get the edge. It's going to be a flag thrown. And then it'll most likely be on Colton Deary, the left guard for TCU. Kind of shoved the defensive end to the floor, and Eric Phillips.
Yeah, definitely holding right there on the tackle for TCU. He kind of pancaked him. Yeah, it is holding. So that's going to be a 10-yard penalty, and that's definitely a good start for the Cincinnati defense. We've already seen a lot of chippiness early in this one. There have been a lot of trash talk after that penalty.
And I mean, I can't really recall TCU and Cincinnati really being rivals back in the CUSA, but I guess there's some hard feelings between these two teams. I guess that Cincinnati, or Southwest Ohio and Texas hatred is alive for whatever reason. Brings up first down and 20 to go from the 39-yard line of Cincinnati. Josh Hoover takes the snap, pressure coming, throws it away. He's able to, and it's caught down the field. It'll be just shy the original line of scrimmage by Drake Dabney, the tight end. Brings up second down and long.
Good tackle over the middle, though, again for Cincinnati. It's going to be second and long now. Just cannot prevent. You got to prevent any long pass here with two running backs in the backfield.
A long field goal is exactly what you'd want if you're Cincinnati. Hoover takes the snap, drops back, surveys, throws on the run, and threw it behind his man. Wide open on the wheel route with Savion Williams, but just a bad pass from Josh Hoover, couldn't connect.
Oh, my
Would have been a
goodness.
touchdown if you had caught it.
Wide open, blown coverage right there in the secondary. That was definitely an announcer's curse right there. Secondary fell apart, but luckily, bad pass by Hoover, third down and very long.
Jordan Young was in on the coverage. Got very lucky that Hoover had thrown that behind his receiver. Two to the bottom, one to the top for TCU. Third down and long for the Horned Frogs. Pressure coming, throws it away, it's high, and it's caught. My goodness, what a catch on the sideline by number 18 of TCU, Jack Beck.
Yeah, he had Jaquan Sanks, the true freshman, on him over there right at the 10-yard line. Great pass by Hoover, but even a better catch by the TCU leading receiver. And it looks like they're going to go twins left and right. They're going to throw it again.
So diving catch officially spotted at the 14. Takes the snap, throws quickly, and will be down at the 10-yard line. About a gain of 5 on the play. Nice quick catch and shoot, if you will, right back to Jack Beck.
Definitely a momentum killer, though. You had third and long, even after the muff punt, tried to get off the field, but TCU's offense is starting to drive.
Left hash is the ball. Hoover takes the snap, hands it off to the right side this time. Trying to catch the edge. He won't really be able to, and he's going to get tripped up and tackled down. It's Trent Battle on the run, the junior 200-pound running back, where the Horned Frogs forces third down.
Yeah, but Derek Canteen missed the tackle right there on the outside. Canteen, good job, though, to clean up the mess. But now another third down. Can this Bearcats defense hold them to a field goal after the muff punt?
12-17 to go here in the first quarter. Tied up at 0 between the Bearcats and the Horned Frogs in the season finale. The regular season finale at the very least. TCU's going bowling. Cincinnati fighting for that final spot to make it to a bowl game. Takes a snap. Wildcat on the play, trying to get around his men. It's tripped up. It will pick up the first down. It's a good run from Cam Cook, who had lined up at the quarterback spot on the Wildcat.
Yeah, Josh Minkins made the tackle there at the 2-yard line, but again, TCU on another crucial third down. Again, get a first down, and now it's first and goal for the Horned Frogs.
Not looking good for this Cincinnati defense. Had that 3-and-out initially, but a muffed punt down the ball at the 29-yard line of Cincinnati, and it's been all Horned Frogs ever since. 11:26 and counting to go in the first quarter. Heavy set Wildcat again. Here comes Cook up the middle and strolls his way into the end zone. Touchdown, TCU.
And that was a very odd formation. They had Hoover behind 3 running backs. Maybe a fullback was in there as well, but another nice Wildcat play set and an easy TCU touchdown, and it just definitely a killer when you had them on 3rd and 14 for them to get that completion, setting up the touchdown.
Number 34, Kyle Lemmerman, is the place kicker for TCU. Easton Black is the holder, and the long snapper is Brent Matisic. Waiting on the extra point. Snap is down. The kick is up, and it is good for TCU. They'll take a 7-point lead here in the first quarter. 11:18 left in it. And just a tough first drive for Cincinnati. And that will send us to a media timeout. We'll take one right there with them. We'll be back in just a moment. Cincinnati trailing 7-0 to TCU here in the first quarter. Welcome back to Nippert Stadium. Cincinnati trailing in the first meeting between these two schools since 2004. That meeting went the way of Cincinnati 21-10 back on the 30th of October in 2004. Cincinnati leads the all-time series 2-1 against TCU. The lone win for the Horned Frogs came in 2003, a 43-10 victory in Fort Worth. Back with you, Jack Ritchie, Ethan Herzog here with you, and just a frustrating first defensive series for Cincinnati. They had the 3-and-out, but a muffed punt and a special teams miscue would lead to a TCU score in the end.
Yeah, and right after, we've been talking about it, right after a huge stop by the defense, obviously special teams miscue leads to a TCU touchdown even when the defense had him 3rd and long, but obviously, you just got to adjust from it, have the offense go score, and like I said, could be a very high-scoring game. Both these defenses do give up quite a bit of points. That's been the trend so far this year. So Sorsby in the offense will be next.
Logan Wilson and Manny Covey are back deep to receive the kick from Kyle Lemmerman. This one's up and away, a high end-over-end kick. It's going to be fielded. He had to come up to grab it, and he will at the 15. Now looking for the edge. There's multiple flags down, and a hurt TCU Horned Frog is a big return all the way to the 50-yard line from Logan Wilson, but we'll see what the flags are. The TCU player is down and not moving. And just as I say that, he is moving now.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a block in the back, something like that, but the TCU player went down immediately. I couldn't tell who that is.
I couldn't tell what had happened. It looked like potentially number 19. for TCU, Jonathan Bax. Number 18, excuse me, on the return team. And not Jack Beck, but a repeat number for TCU. And I can't seem to find number 18.
Foul, illegal blindside block. Number 31 of the receiving team. 15-yard penalty.
Goes down on Simeon Coleman as a legal blindside block. And just special teams miscue after special teams miscue, but not so much a miscue as just a bad decision on the return.
Yeah, and it's a shame because it was a pretty good return all the way up to almost the 45-yard line. So now they'll be set up about the 21-yard line, 21.5-yard line. So we'll have to see what the Cincinnati offense can do after an early touchdown by TCU.
Something that to watch out for moving forward as well. The last nip at night, I remember it was against ECU, and there was a 100-yard touchdown return by Trey Tucker. Sorsby takes the snap, hands it off to Kiner straight up the gut, and it's going to be about a 4 or 5 yard gain for the senior running back, bringing up second and medium for the Bearcats.
I like them running the ball there on first down, get the offense adjusted after being not being on the field so far tonight, but hopefully we can see some down field passes by Sorsby here.
Trips to the top. Xavier Henderson down to the bottom. Sorsby with Kiner in the backfield, hands it off again. Kiner makes a couple of moves, and he's going to gain a couple more yards on the play. He's going to be dropped at about the 30-yard line for a third down and short for Cincinnati. And we'll see if this is going to be sort of a run pass situation, and Sorsby's going to pull it back and see what he can do slinging it.
Yeah, 3rd and 4, a little manageable here as Francis Sherman will check in, so maybe a couple more big bodies in there for Cincinnati.
One receiver to the top, one to the bottom, a fullback in the backfield in Joe Royer, who entered the game, who has been in the game for Cincinnati. Sorsby takes the snap, hands it off to Kiner up the middle, trying to fight for that first down. Looks like he may have gotten there, and the official's going to hold on to the chain gang and now wave him forward.
Yeah, I like it. 3 straight runs, establishing the offensive line for Cincinnati. That's a big thing. We've seen it. This TCU rushing defense is 12th in the Big 12 in yards allowed a game, just under 160 a contest for TCU. So Cincinnati staying away from the air so far.
I mean, when you've got a bell cow like Corey Kiner, 1,043 yards, you kind of keep going to him. Sorsby, first throw of the night is caught by the tight end and Joe Royer, and he's still on his feet. He's moving down the sideline. He's going to be pushed out of bounds by number 4 of TCU.
Yeah, I don't think he went down.
Boisier.
I don't think he went down.
He didn't.
I think his knee was on the TCU defender, so.
Unless they'll count the elbow, but his knees weren't down. The elbow was down.
Yeah. They might bring it back just because of that, because I'm pretty sure that is.
Previous plays under review. Purposes of reviewing whether the receiver was down prior to going out of bounds.
So a huge play by Joe Royer here early in this contest, and I mean, I thought he was down. After initial, it looked like and on the replay, it looked like that neither of his knees were down on the floor, but it was his elbow that touched the turf, and he kind of used that as leverage to keep himself up. So looking at that on the play, it'll probably get called back here in a minute.
Yeah, I was waiting for them to blow the whistle after Royer caught the ball over there about the 40, but then he just kept running, and there were no whistles blown, and so he broke it out for a pretty big play. But I think this one is coming back, unfortunately.
It goes down as a 19-yard pass from Sorsby to Royer, but currently under review. See how long the officials take to assess the play at hand. Cincinnati trails by 7 with 9:09 remaining here in the first quarter. 7-0 is the score between Cincinnati and TCU. First meeting since 2004. These two teams, they would meet as members of the CUSA back in the day. I mean, I was only 3 years old when those matchups went on. Now they meet here again in 2024.
There was was down at the 37-yard line.
So Royer will be spotted down at the 37-yard line, bringing this play back.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty expected. It was a good effort. I mean, it's I like to see it from Joe Royer, the sophomore. Don't stop running till that whistle's blown. So good effort there. They get almost half the distance to the first down. So we'll see if they go back to the air here.
It ends up as a 4-yard reception instead of a 19-yard reception. Here's Sorsby, takes the snap, hands it off, kind of with a big hole down the near side of the field, and he's still moving, picks up the first down and about 2 yards more. Powerful run from Corey Kiner.
Running the ball a lot here in the first quarter, and they're giving the senior Corey Kiner a lot of the carries, and they really are. They continue to establish that offensive line and that presence up front. TCU hasn't really been able to stop the run much so far.
Somebody you could definitely see playing in the league on Sundays here coming up. First down and 10 for Cincinnati, and looks like a timeout will be called. To some extent.
They're,
not sure for what.
I saw one of the umpires talk to Corey Kiner, but I don't think it was about that.
No, because he walked right past him. Now the fans weighing in. Haven't heard anything from the white hat, so we're in a holding pattern here for a moment. I guess they're going to move this ball back. It seems that they messed up the spot initially, and they're going to mark it. Third down and 2 after a review from somewhere.
So I think they're going to say Kiner, kind of on his second effort, he was actually down. So that's, yeah, so third down now. That's interesting.
Very interesting turn of events here for Cincinnati. Sorsby was about to snap the football, and whistles were blown, and it was blown dead. So now third down and 2 from the 41. Sorsby back in the shotgun, 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom for the Bearcats. Kiner in the backfield. He's got 15 seconds on the play clock to work with. Rotating a couple players around. Brings back Francis Sherman. Sorsby takes the snap, hands it off. Kiner once again pushing his way forward, but he's going to get shoved right back. Looks like it's going to be just shy of the line to gain and a 4th down.
I wouldn't hate Cincinnati going for this.
Laying in.
Oh, wow.
Once again.
They're going to put the punt unit in. I don't know about that one. 4th and inches. Kiner's been really, really efficient so far, and you're going to punt the ball away.
Mason Fletcher sends this one a high and over end kick, and it's going to be fielded at the 11. A couple of moves are made, and here comes TCU. Down the middle of the field and tackled at the 22-yard line. A good return coming from TCU, and it's going to be Horned Frog's second possession of the night as they lead 7-0 with 7:13 remaining here in the first quarter. So we head to a break. We'll take one right there with them. TCU 7, Cincinnati 0 on Bearcast Sports Radio. 45-yard punt gives it right back to TCU as they lead it 7-0 against Cincinnati in the final game of the regular season. Jack Ritchie, Ethan Herzog here with you, and I think we all expected for Cincinnati to go for it there on 4th and 1.
Yeah, and I said it a couple times. You've been running it really well. The offensive push has been there, and it's 4th and inches at your own 41, 42-yard line. I understand why you wouldn't go for it because, I mean, obviously if you turn the ball over, you're setting up this very, very good TCU offense right at the 40-yard line, already down a touchdown. But, man, Corey Kiner already 5 carries for 16 yards tonight, and you decide to punt it. You flip the field. Hopefully the defense can come out with a stop here.
Now, TCU heading into this game, they are still alive for a spot in the Big 12 championship game with a 5-3 record in conference play, and a win against Cincinnati tonight would help them, but a couple of losses would be very easy, would be very nice for TCU in their chances to make it to the Big 12 title.
Yeah, and also looking, winners of 2 straight, and also 4 of their last 5. They've been on fire recently overall. And funny that they're still alive in the Big 12 title game. The Big 12 is just so chaotic this year. You don't know who's going to pull away.
And I mean, Cincinnati was also alive for a moment, but then had that loss to Kansas State that knocked him out of contention. It's now 1st down and 10 from the 23 for the Horned Frogs. Hoover's going to take it himself, and it's going to be a run up the middle, gaining a good chunk of yardage. It was actually Haas Henji, the freshman quarterback, standing at 6 foot flat on the run.
Yeah, it seems like TCU's using a lot of different formations, a lot of different run styles. You saw that last one on more of a QB draw. We've seen a couple out of the Wildcat, and really interesting as TCU's kind of switching up their offensive scheme.
It's the first touch for Haas Henji today in his career, only with Horned Frogs for 1 year. Hoover, quick screen pass out to Williams on the near side of the field, and it's going to be a gang tackle from Cincinnati, bringing him down past the sticks, so moving the chains for TCU.
I will say, secondary's played good. I mean, they're not allowing those big plays like we've seen it happen a couple times. They're making the tackles when they need to. Obviously, TCU's moving the sticks, but it's been on very, very short yardages.
Now 1st down and 10 from the 34. Here comes Hoover with the ball in the pocket. He's going to be almost sacked, able to throw it away, and it's caught at the 40-yard line. What a play from Hoover, but a missed opportunity for the Cincinnati defense. He came flying in, Jack Dingle did, off the edge, and almost had the sack on Josh Hoover.
Are you kidding me, Josh Hoover? What a throw. With Dingle all over him. For sure looked like a sack and a great throw for 5 yards.
2nd down and 5, hands the ball off to Williams. Williams gets swallowed up and dropped to the floor. No gain on the play, brings up 3rd down.
Another big-time 3rd down now. With 5 to go in the first, you got to try to get off the field here. Already down a touchdown. It's 3rd and 5. Pretty obvious passing situation here for TCU. So for the Bearcats, secondary lockdown. Do not allow any catches here.
Got number 8 up to the top in coverage, Ormani Arnold, the redshirt sophomore for Cincinnati. Josh Hoover, empty back set for TCU. Drops back, looking to his right, now his left. Drops back, pressure coming, throws over the middle, and it's almost intercepted, but brings up 4th down. And what coverage coming up for Cincinnati, and number 7 on the play, Jared Bartlett.
And also Derek Canteen over the middle as well. Both of them providing the coverage, not allowing for TCU to complete that pass. Big time stop for the defense, giving the offense the ball back.
Be the first punt today for TCU. It's up and away. Jamoy Mays, who muffed the first punt, is going to watch this one bounce, and he's going to get away from it this time, and it's going to trickle its way back to the 5-yard line where TCU is going to snatch that one and down it, and Cincinnati's going to have it when we come back for their 2nd offensive possession of the game. TCU leading 7-0 over Cincinnati, 4:45 remaining here in the first quarter. This is Cincinnati football here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Second offensive drive for Cincinnati coming up here in just a moment. Jack Ritchie, Ethan Herzog here with you in the regular season finale for these two teams. Cincinnati looking to go bowling for the first time in 2 years. The last bowl game they made it to was the Fenway Bowl against Louisville 2 years ago in their final year in the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, and that's a pretty cool place to play in Fenway. We've already seen a couple teams like Notre Dame play in Yankee Stadium this year, but definitely want to go back.
Northwestern's playing at Wrigley so far this season as a jet sweep for Cincinnati, and what a burst of speed from Evan Pryor off of the pass from Brendan Sorsby. Look at that.
Again, looking at that breakout speed by Evan Pryor right there out of the perimeter, spreading out that TCU secondary, getting a nice first down yardage, being pinned at their own 5 almost all the way out to the 20.
I think that's what Cincinnati's really going to need here is that burst of speed, not to diss on Corey Kiner. You've got him who can drive through it, but Evan Pryor's really going to be dangerous off the edge with that speed of his. Two receivers to the top and bottom for Cincinnati. Here's Brendan Sorsby in the shotgun formation, calls Joe Royer in motion. Takes the handoff, rolls off to his right. Still rolling, Joe Royer, some nice blocking, throws it over the middle, it's tipped. Had Sterling Burkhalter in as he was crossing the field, but threw it just behind him, and it's going to bring up second down.
Like the concept, couldn't quite pull it in there. Not even a bad throw by Sorsby right there. Just went off of his hands, but now you got second and long. We'll have to see what they drop now, and maybe an obvious running situation here, but second and long now. We'll see if they can air it out.
I mean, I like the edge attack with Evan Pryor. I think they should do that a little bit more.
Why not?
Joe Royer, motion back to the fullback slot next to Brendan Sorsby. Sorsby takes the snap, hands it off to Kiner. Kiner has a little bit of room off the edge. He's going to get wrapped up, still going, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be third down and 10.
I think that's the first time tonight we've seen the offensive line for Cincinnati not quite get their blocks, and obviously we saw Kiner get back to the line of scrimmage, but now third and 10. Now, obviously, you're going to throw the football. If you're Cincinnati, we'll have to see what they can draw up. If they're going to go deeper, maybe try to throw it underneath and try to get those extra yards.
I'd look out for Joe Royer, who's down by himself towards the bottom in the near side hash. Sorsby and the football are on the far side hash. Shotgun snap, takes it, drops back, pressure coming, throws, dumps it out to Tony Johnson. Johnson bursts his speed, and he's going to gain about 4. The clock is going to run here, and it's fourth down and long, but an injured Horned Frog is down on the far sideline in front of the TCU bench.
Interesting play idea. They get it to Tony Johnson underneath. He had a couple blockers in front of him, but I would rather them try to just take a shot there. And as you said, Royer was one-on-one alone here on our near sideline by himself. Maybe try to throw that up on a fourth and long situation, but TCU's defense is going to hold strong again and get the football back with 3 to go in the first.
Going to bring out senior punter Mason Fletcher. He had a 45-yard punt earlier in the first offensive possession for Cincinnati. His brother Max Fletcher is also on the team. He'll be the replacement punter next season. He's a junior, so his senior season will be spent starting for the Bearcats at the punting position, transferred in from Arkansas. Big rugby family, too.
Yeah.
Father played in the professional rugby leagues back home in Australia. And I feel like you see a lot more Australian punters nowadays.
Yeah, and I believe TCU's punter is also, yes, Ethan Craw is also from Australia, from Tasmania. A lot of good punters and kickers come from the Outback in Australia, and cool to see the family business starting to pay off now as, the kind of almost a generation passing the baton from one brother to the other.
And it was an interesting, too. I made the trip back in 2022 to Fayetteville for the season after Bearcats made it to the college football playoff and saw Arkansas and Cincinnati go at it and had the opportunity to watch Mason and Max Fletcher have a little punt battle back and forth. It was an interesting experience, and injured Horned Frog is able to get up under his own power and make his way to the sideline to get checked out the rest of the way. Looked like number 1 for TCU, Abe Kamara, the safety for the Horned Frogs. And Will be a punting situation. 4th down and 5 from their own 24 is Cincinnati. Back deep to return this punt is Jack Beck. Star wide receiver for the Horned Frogs. Fletcher takes it, boots this one away. End over end kick. It'll be caught at the 40. And a couple of moves and tackled out of bounds at the 45. Some jawing back and forth between the two players. And it will bring up 1st down and 10 for the Horned Frogs coming up.
TCU going to get another good field position opportunity here for their offense, getting in about the 45-yard line as we close out the first quarter.
2:45 to go here in the first quarter. A 7-0 lead for TCU coming up here. Had the lone score after a muffed punt by the Bearcats, led to a 3-yard touchdown rush for Savion Williams. Another Wildcat formation here for TCU. Savion Williams takes a snap, and he is just eaten up at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Thought there was going to be a flag thrown over there with one of the TCU offensive linemen, but either way, good defense right there at the line of scrimmage for Cincinnati.
I heard some extra whistles, didn't quite see what had happened, but definitely a chippy matchup here tonight between these two teams. Hoover takes a shotgun snap, pressure's coming, throws a ball down the field, and it's caught on the run in the middle of the field, swung down, but a nice high catch from J.P. Richardson to move the ball deep down the field and set up shop in the red zone.
Yeah, Logan Wilson was on the coverage there. At least he made the tackle, but another huge play for TCU. That's actually been one of the first tonight for the TCU offense, and now inside of the 30.
Hoover quickly takes a snap and throws it out to the outside. It's Jack Beck, and he gets tackled down after a gain of about 2 on the play. But my goodness, what a pass to really set up.
Yeah, Hoover
What could eventually be a score.
Great deep ball passer right over the front. Obviously a backup strong safety. Usually Derek Cantine's in that spot, but using it to their advantage, picking up a nice play, but then Armani Arnold on a nice play there on that last one to make the tackle and prevent anything else after a 5-yard gain.
1:10 and counting. Hoover takes the snap, hands it off to Cook. Cook with a huge hole up the middle. He's going to pick up the 1st down, get tackled down at the 10-yard line for TCU, and they're knocking on that door, looking to extend their lead before the quarter break.
Yep, starting to pick that Cincinnati defense apart now, where we've seen them really be good defensively, as now there's going to be a bunch of substitutions for Cincinnati, putting some bigger bodies in the box now as the 3 starting defensive linemen will check back in for Cincinnati. But now 1st and 10 with 40 seconds, most likely last play of the first quarter. TCU most likely, I'm going to guess they're going to run it here.
Big hockey line change coming. Eric Phillips, Dante Corleone re-enter the game for Cincinnati. Hoover hands it off, looking for the edge. It's Cook. Cook with a burst of speed. Cook looking for the edge. He's trying to get there, but he won't be able to, and he's pushed out of bounds. Brings up 2nd and goal.
Nice defense right there by the corners by Cincinnati, not allowing Cook to get that pylon, forcing him out at about the 9-yard line, and that's most likely going to round out the first quarter.
It's a clock with 9 seconds. Hoover might try and get one more play off here before the quarter's end. 2 seconds, 1, claps once, clock expires, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. TCU will flip sides and is still knocking on the door, leading 7-0 here against Cincinnati in the season finale of the Big 12 regular season. We'll be right back with the start of the second quarter here in just a moment. You're listening to Cincinnati football here on Bearcast Sports Radio. About to start the second quarter here in Cincinnati. TCU leads 7-0, but knocking on the door at about the 5-yard line in the red zone. Jack Ritchie, Ethan Herzog here with you, and we'll take a look around college football really quick as Penn State still with a dominant lead. About to end the fourth quarter, 38-7 is that score. Notre Dame leading USC 28-35 now as USC just punched it into the end zone. 8:43 left in the fourth quarter on CBS. Syracuse just scored against Miami, 42-35. 9:16 left in the fourth quarter. That's on ESPN. SMU still dominating California. 8:28 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's 31-6 on ESPN2. In the Iron Bowls, Alabama leads it by 2 scores, 28-14. That one's on ABC. 11:34 remaining in the fourth quarter. Arizona State still dominating Arizona, 49-7 on Fox. And Missouri and Arkansas are going at it as Missouri trails by 1 to the Razorbacks. That one is on the SEC network. Still to come, Purdue and number 10 Indiana on FS1. Washington and number 1 ranked Oregon on NBC. Number 3 Texas and number 20 Texas A&M on ABC and ESPN+. So a huge slate of games, and if you got your multi-box, you might as well set it up now and make sure you got some space for some of the high-powered matchups coming up tonight.
Oh, yeah. Definitely some chaos is on the horizon tonight in just a couple of games. I feel like there's going to be a game tonight we might not think will be as close as it should be, but I feel like there might be an upset brewing tonight. Not only Texas A&M and Texas, but maybe Oregon loses to Washington.
That could be a big one.
Never know.
Hoover sets up shop there on the 10-yard line, fakes the handoff to Cook, throws it. It's going to be out. It'll be incomplete. Was looking for Savion Williams, and it's going to bring up third down. What looks like 9 to go to the goal line.
Yeah, TCU tried to go quick there. Nice little slant. Jordan Robinson, though, on the coverage inside the 5-yard line. Another 3rd and long situation, and can the Cincinnati defense force the field goal in the red zone?
Be a big-time stop should they do it. They trail by 7. Hoover takes a snap, looks to his left. Still looking, throws one over the middle, too high. No flags thrown. 4th down, TCU.
Man, has the Bearcats secondary been locked down or what tonight? We saw that one ball to back over the middle, but other than that, just not allowing TCU's receivers to get any space. You tried to look at the back of the end zone there, but again, another big stop for Cincinnati, and they force it to 3.
So now that brings up the place kicker for TCU in Kyle Lemmerman, 6'2", 205 freshman. Coming up here to take it. He's 11 for 17 on the year. Takes it, kick is up, and it is good. So a 10-point lead now for TCU with 14:47 remaining here in the first half of play. There's a flag in the back of the end zone. The referees are going to convene about the 10-yard line and discuss something. I didn't see any
I'm not sure.
Any issues down the field.
I'm guessing if it's in the back of the end zone, though, I'm guessing. Oh, my goodness.
Interesting.
So I'm guessing they had 12 men on the field.
Probably had 12 men on the field. If we had to assume what had happened, because I completely missed it.
I did too.
It could have been as simple as the player hadn't stepped off of the field before the snap was taken.
That's true. Doesn't matter though; they still got the field goal. But again, good defense by Cincinnati, preventing them to a field goal.
And as we just come back, they kick the field goal and send us to a break. We'll be right back here in just a moment. TCU leads 10-0 against Cincinnati here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Welcome back to the Queen City. TCU leads 10-0 against Cincinnati. And in a regional score update, the final from, a while ago, it was Louisville 41, Kentucky 14. And my goodness, what a dominating win for Louisville. And it looks like Coach Satterfield's former club is doing quite well.
Yeah, they are. They have been playing really well all year. Another one of those ACC sleeper teams that could have a pretty good bowl game by the end of the year. Obviously beating their rival Kentucky this week in rivalry week, but definitely a good win for the Cardinals.
Cincinnati gets the ball back for the third time tonight as high end overhand kick goes out the back of the end zone, and Cincinnati will have it first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Cincinnati stalled out twice, trying to march the ball down the field. Once they had good field position, the second time kind of backed up against their own end zone. They were forced to punt it away both times, and we'll see what Cincinnati can draw up here.
Yeah, got to go score now. You're down 10-0. Start of the second quarter, I want to see a little bit more of the passing game. We've seen the running game be pretty powerful so far in the first half, but I want to see them have it downhill.
Swarsby hands it off to Pryor. Pryor squeaks his way through, gains about 6. And when you watch Evan Pryor run the football, it's just an impressive work of art that Pryor can put through.
But what also we talked about a little bit today, Pryor and Corey Kiner have kind of a different running styles. Evan Pryor, more of that speed guy, elusive guy, but Corey Kiner more of that power back. But when you mix it up, it can be hard for defenses to stop them.
14:20 left in the first half of play. TCU leads 10-0. Sorsby fakes the handoff and is going to have the option play, takes it himself. He's going to pick up the first down, crossing the 35-yard line, being dropped down at the 37. It's going to be first down and 10 for Cincinnati.
A nice run there by the team's second leading rusher, Brendan Sorsby, picking up the first down, moving the sticks. But now you got it at the 35. That's another running play for Cincinnati. They have not really opened up the playbook much. Only 23 passing yards on the night.
Sorsby is 3 for 4, 23 yards on the day. No touchdowns, no interceptions to speak of. Sorsby takes the snap, fakes the handoff, drops back to throw. Pressure coming, steps up in the pocket. He's going to be elusive, and he's going to have a lot of room to run here. He picks up another first down with his legs, and it's going to be first down Cincinnati after a big run from Brendan Sorsby.
Brendan Sorsby, 2 plays in a row, showing the elusiveness with his feet, picking up a nice first down right there. And now TCU is going to have to really worry about that running threat now in the middle of the field. If Sorsby starts getting loose, that could maybe open up some things for this Cincinnati offense.
It was a good read, too, from Brendan Sorsby. Abe Kamara came screaming in off the edge unblocked, and Sorsby was able to find that piece and step up in the pocket. Great blocking from the Cincinnati offensive line. First down and 10 from the 47-yard line, knocking on the door of TCU territory. Would be the first time tonight that they've entered it. Sorsby, since Royer in motion, now hands it off. Here's Evan Pryor. Has a little small hole, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards on the play. Bearcats starting a slow drive. It's very methodical. Skyner's going to get subbed back in for Evan Pryor.
Picking up lots of yards on every single run right there, just about 5 yards picked up. They got 6 yards to go. So a 4-yard rush, but I like how they are establishing that offensive line's presence throughout this first half.
Second down and 6 from the 49-yard line. Sorsby takes a shotgun snap, looks to throw. Looks to the left, like toss, over to the far side of the field. It's going to be caught by Xavier Henderson. He's going to get tackled down almost immediately after a gain of about 3 and brings up third down and medium.
I like the pass. I like the play scheme over there to Henderson, but couldn't really get free, and now we'll see it on a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 now. What the offense can draw up here, and it almost seems like maybe 4-down territory based on this play.
Cincinnati in TCU territory for the first time tonight. Sorsby, single back, hands it off to Kiner. Kiner with a little bit of room, and he's going to break free. Here comes Corey Kiner down the far sideline. One man to beat, and he almost beats him. Shoestring tackle, and he's down at the 1-yard line. Corey Kiner with a huge run midway through this second quarter.
Corey Kiner on senior night, letting TCU know that he's here to play. Breaks out for a very nice run, and now some tempo now from Cincinnati's offense.
Cincinnati on the goal line, 1st and goal. Hands it to Kiner. Kiner bounces off some defenders, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Touchdown number 4 on the year for Corey Kiner.
How about Corey Kiner on that drive alone, taking it himself in for the touchdown, bounces off a tackle there when it looked like he was stopped for a loss. And just like that, the Bearcats climb right back with 11 to play in the second. With this extra point, it would make it a 3-point contest.
It's a 46-yard touchdown to set up the 1-yard touchdown from Corey Kiner after he bounced off a defensive tackle. Now here's Nathan Hawks to make it a 3-point game, and it's up and it is good. And Cincinnati now only trails by 3 with 11-12 remaining in the first half.
And that's exactly what the Bearcats need. You get down 10-0. Your defense has been playing pretty good for the most part. You just need the offense to step up, and then Corey Kiner delivers a crazy blow in the backfield. Gets right down to the 1-yard line. They give it right back to him. He punches it in, and now a big-time defensive situation now if you want to get off the field and give the ball back to this offense to try to go take the lead.
Big-time players make big-time plays, and Corey Kiner called his own number. Cincinnati trails by 3 here with 11-12 remaining in the first half. We'll take a break right with the rest of the team and be right back here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Cincinnati punched it in off a pair of runs from Corey Kiner. One went for 46, one went for 1 and the score. Kiner has 8 attempts for 63 yards and a touchdown on the night. Jack Ritchie, Ethan Herzog here with you in the season finale here for Cincinnati. Now trailing by 3, and what an offensive showing by Cincinnati. Now they got to get it done on defense.
Yeah, just like I said right before the break, this defense has been playing very well. They've had a couple of third down stops getting the ball back to the offense, but now the crowd's back into it. It's 10-7, 11 to go in the second quarter. Got to try to get a stop now here for the Cincinnati defense.
A good turnout here on senior night as well, especially seeing it's the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
2 days after Thanksgiving, and a lot of people went home for the holidays. I fortunately live here, so I didn't have to go anywhere. Nathan Hawks to kick this one away for Cincinnati as they fight for another offensive possession before half's end. They have 11-12 remaining to do so as the kick is out of bounds at the 2.
Free kick out of bounds.
And that's Nathan Hawks' second of the season, kicking it out of bounds there, and that's just not what you need. If you're the Cincinnati team, all the momentum back, and then you just take it all away. But this defense now has a big chance to shift the momentum of this game now.
Made a huge third down stop at the goal line to force a field goal for TCU. Now looking to lock down back in the secondary once again. They've had the rushing games number so far today. Josh Hoover, heavy set, takes a snap, hands it off. a huge hole up the middle, and it's going to go for a gain of about 10, and it will move the sticks. A big-time run for TCU and Jeremy Payne.
Yeah, nice run right there by Jeremy Payne, getting it outside and already picking up, and actually going to say short by a yard, but still 9 yards on first down.
2nd down and 1. Going to hand it right back to Payne. Payne's going to bounce off a defensive tackle. Jared Bartlett's going to meet him. He's going to get shoved back, but he will pick up the first down by forward motion.
Now TCU, we've seen TCU throw the ball a lot more, but already picking up some more rushing yards there, and already an early first down here on a drive with 10 to go in the second.
It's been 5 different rushers for TCU, and Hoover has thrown 13 passes, only completed 7 for 74. Hoover single back in the backfield. Is going to fake the handoff and drop back to throw. Wide open over the middle. Here comes the pass, and it's caught by the big tight end, number 87, Blake Noel, and moves the ball right into the red zone for TCU once again.
Yeah, nice throw all the way down there for TCU. And we've seen that. That's the second deep ball thrown by Josh Hoover. Cincinnati's secondary just wasn't ready for it. Perfect pass right in the breadbasket for the catch. And TCU's threatening already.
Jordan Young got burned on that route. Brings up first down and 10 deep in the red zone. Throws it to the near side, and it will be caught on the sideline. A nice catch there by the Horned Frogs and Jack Beck.
TCU's receivers continue to show why they're some of the best in all of the Big 12, and just picking up plays, really big chunk plays so far here with 9:22 to go. It's already 1st and goal. It seems like this drive started 10 seconds ago.
So sticking with McAllister on that reception, the 4th leading receiver for TCU. Now a heavy set favoring that right side. Hoover hands it off to Payne. Payne fighting his way forward is going to be met by a host of Bearcats and dropped. And the ball came out, but the whistle blew. So it'll remain with TCU.
That's a tough break for Cincinnati. Looked like they forced possibly a turnover there, but they stood Payne up at the goal line. See if this defense can force possibly another field goal inside the red zone.
It'll be 2nd down and 2 from the 2. Cincinnati had a good goal line stand earlier. They're 1 for 2 from the red zone is TCU. 3 receivers down to the bottom. It'll be a wildcat. Williams gets stuffed. Maybe a gain of 1. 3rd downs for TCU.
How about the defensive front? And now there's a big-time 3rd down now. Maybe even a 4-down territory as UC is going to try to get a goal line stand here in the 2nd quarter.
Came in off the edge unblocked. Is able to force a big stop of Simeon Coleman. 7:46 to go in the half. TCU leads 10-7 over Cincinnati. The Bearcats going to go up against Williams again. Takes the Wildcat. He's going to have a hole up the middle, and it's the exact same play for another touchdown for TCU.
Same play we saw him bounce out on down on the other end for a Wildcat touchdown. But now Williams will get another one, and Savion will put TCU up now 16-7. And after another crucial 3rd down, UC's defense couldn't quite put it together, and the Horned Frogs will go up 2 scores.
16-7 prior to the extra point. It's going to be Kyle Lemmerman to come out and knock this one through. It's up, and it is good for the Horned Frogs, and that'll send us to a media timeout. 17-7, TCU leads it over Cincinnati. When we come back here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Welcome back to Nippert Stadium. Cincinnati trailing by 10, 17-7. Once again here from the Queen City. Some scoring updates here across college football once again. Notre Dame had a 99-yard pick six to go up 42-28, and USC, with 2 minutes to go, is in the red zone once again, trying to fight back against number 5th ranked Notre Dame. That's on CBS. Miami still trailing Syracuse, as Syracuse has the ball with 1:49 remaining in the fourth quarter over number 6 Miami, 42-38. That's on ESPN. Alabama still leading Auburn in the Iron Bowl 28-14 with 2:23 remaining here in the fourth quarter to go. Now some finals across college football. Penn State 44, Maryland 7, SMU 38, California 6. Arizona State punched their ticket to the Big 12 title game 49-7 over Arizona, and Missouri came back against Arkansas and won 28-21. Some big-time scores across college football, and still to come: Purdue, Indiana, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Texas A&M, Kansas State, Iowa State, Nevada, UNLV, Houston, BYU to wrap up the night. That one's on ESPN at 10:15 from Provo. Now the kick, high, end over end. It'll come out to field it, and taking it up the middle. It's Logan Wilson. He meets a scrum of Horned Frogs, and now some pushing and shoving. It's TCU just trying to poke fun at the Bearcats after punching it into the end zone for the second time.
Yeah, we saw TCU took it all the way down the field to punch it in for a touchdown to go up 10. Now with 7 to go, though, Cincinnati gets the ball to start the second half. So you really want to see a nice drive here. Hopefully UC can put 7 on the board.
Be the fourth drive for Cincinnati tonight, and see what Sorsby and the Bearcats can do. Johnson goes in motion from right to left. Sorsby takes the snap, throws a ball high in the air. Xavier Henderson was held on that play. No flag thrown by the referee on the sideline.
Definitely a lot of grabbing there. I thought it was a flag for sure, at least something, but no call. First really deep pass we've seen from Sorsby all night long.
Javon McIver Jr. on the coverage for TCU, going up against Xavier Henderson. That brings up second down and 10 from the 24-yard line of Cincinnati. Sherman subbed into the game at tight end. He's to the left, now in motion to the right. Sorsby with a single back in the backfield. It's Kiner. He hands it off to Kiner down the near side of the field. He's going to get met and slammed to the ground after a gain of 1. Brings up 3rd and long.
Well, the only problem about taking his shot there on first down is after that short run by Kiner, it's going to bring up 3rd and 9. So now you're going to have to get another deep pass, and it looks like TCU is going to drop 2 safeties back. So a lot of DBs back there. It's going to be tough to get a throw over the middle.
Bud Clark and Cam Smith backing coverage in the safety slots as Sorsby takes the snap, hands it off to Kiner. Kiner with a little bit of room here, and he's going to make his way to the line to gain, but he's going to be marked just short. 4th down and maybe an inch.
In tempo, I think they're going for it.
Big tempo here. Here come the Bearcats quickly here. 30 seconds on the play clock. They're lined up. Snaps the ball, but a timeout called before the snap for TCU.
I really like the idea, though, because TCU had a lot more DBs in the game there. Looked like they were just going to go an HB draw up the middle on 4th and short, but a smart timeout by TCU might change the idea from Coach Satterfield now at your own 39-yard line.
Now 6:28 to go here in the first half. 17-7 is the score. The fans didn't like that timeout either.
It was pretty
real
late.
mad.
It was pretty late. It was right there at the snap. And honestly, I think you would have picked it up easily if there wasn't a timeout there with only 4 guys there in the front. But we'll have to see what Cincinnati does here. What would you do?
Depends on the formation that Sonny Dykes sends out with TCU. But a smart play from Sonny Dykes, but an annoying play from Sonny Dykes and TCU.
Yeah.
It looks like we're going to have a heavier set here.
We're going to go for it, though.
Will be. It's a 4-down territory here for Cincinnati with 4 on the line for TCU's defense. Hands it off to Kiner, up the gut, and he squeaks his way through, picks up the first down and a little bit more.
Big time run, and I love them going for it there on fourth down, showing the guts, giving it to your senior, letting him do the work, picks up the first down, and the drive continues.
Doesn't matter for Corey Kiner how many people in the box or how far the distance, he's going to pick up that first down. Now with 72 yards on the game so far. Cincinnati averaging 5.9 yards per play, 6.5 per rush so far in the first half. 5:50 to go, and they trail by 10. Sorsby takes the snap, hands it off. Kiner loses the football, and it's recovered. Oh my goodness, Kiner got rocked, lost the football, and it's picked up by the big man, Caleb Fox.
What a hit on Corey Kiner. Corey didn't even see it coming. Took out his legs, spun him around, the ball came out, and that is a backbreaker for this UC offense.
Abe Kamara flew in and didn't even realize he forced the fumble on Kiner. He started celebrating because he thought he had a tackle for loss, but Caleb Fox had the awareness to pick up that loose football, and now TCU has it at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, Abe Kamara, the senior out of Alpharetta, Georgia, one of the leading tacklers on this TCU defense, and he just laid the boom right there to get the fumble, and the TCU defense recovered it, and now they're set up at the 35 with 5 to go.
Now 5:42 remaining in the first half. TCU might be able to go up 3 scores here before the break. Hoover drops back, throws over the middle, and it's caught, but maybe for a gain of about 1. Brings up 2nd down. Targeted receiver on the play was number 17 for TCU, Trent Battle.
Yeah, good defense, though, again, by the DBs by Cincinnati, allowing for a short yardage. And it looks like it's going to be about 3rd down or 2nd down and 7, excuse me.
Ball placed at the 31-yard line. Hoover takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Battle. He throws it over the middle. It's bobbled and dropped.
Wow.
Couldn't quite connect with Blake Noel. And it brings up a big 3rd down situation for Cincinnati.
Cats catch a break there. He was wide open over the middle to the tight end. And on that cold night, sometimes it can be hard to grab those balls over the middle. But a drop right there, and now like you said, big time 3rd down now, 3rd and 7 from the 31.
5:07 to go here in the first half. Cincinnati lines up with 3 men in the box. Jared Bartlett barking out orders for Cincinnati at the linebacker position. Hoover, empty backfield, looks to throw over the middle. It's caught. A good play there to save the drive for TCU. And it was caught by J.P. Richardson, and it'll be his 2nd reception of the night.
And again, how many times have we seen it on 3rd and long to obvious passing situations? TCU, again, finds a way to get it done.
4:40 to go as Hoover takes another snap, throws it over the middle, and it's bobbled and dropped. There were 3 Bearcats in the area. He was looking for Richardson again. Feed the hot hand, why don't you? But couldn't quite bring that pass down.
Good defense right there. Over the top by Derek Canteen, the safety. And I don't know what is going on down at the line of scrimmage. It looked like J.P. Richardson was on the ground. He was pointing at the UC defenders. Maybe he got shoved down or something. But either way, 2nd and 10. This is a big-time defensive set here for Cincinnati if they want to stay in this game.
4:35 to go here in the first half, down by 10. Hoover with a heavy backfield. And a single receiver down to the bottom. Hoover throws that single receiver on the bottom, and it's dropped. Looked for McAllister, and he thought about that yards after catch. And it's going to bring up a big 3rd down here for Cincinnati.
2nd time it's happened on this last couple of plays alone. Just like you said, maybe he was already looking for the end zone before the ball got to his hands. And again, a drop leads to a huge 3rd down. Big time play for this UC defense now on 3rd and long.
He's looking for Eric McAllister. Big time 3rd down and 10 from the 11. Hoover's going to call an audible here with 9 seconds on the play clock. Trips to the top, single receiver to the bottom. It's McAllister. Hoover claps once, takes the snap. Pressure coming, throws out the dump pass, a battle, and he's dropped in the backfield. Huge defensive play for Cincinnati. Jared Bartlett got there first.
What a play by Jared Bartlett. over the top for a running back screen. Smart play call, honestly, from TCU. I haven't really seen it all day. It's been a lot of the downfield passing, but great defense to hold them to another field goal. And now on a cold night, they're going to put the true freshman back out there again.
It's going to be a 35-yard field goal for TCU. Out comes Kyle Lemmerman. His longest is from 48. He's been blocked once. Snap is down. Kick is up. It is good. Another defensive stop forcing a field goal for Cincinnati. They now trail 20-7 here in the final 3 minutes of the first half, 3:44 to go.
Yeah, big stop though. No matter what, they keep it in the game after the field goal to keep it a two-possession game. And even when the defense, once again, has a short field, they come up big again and not allowing Hoover and this TCU offense to get any more than a field goal. They forced 2 now.
Looks like maybe some flurries
That's what I
falling
saw
down on the video board. I'm a little concerned. I really don't want to walk home in the snow.
Yeah.
I live in Clifton. I do not want to walk home in the snow. That does not sound like a fun time.
Yeah, I have a short walk to Dabney, but either way.
I mean, heck, no matter as long as the snow clears up. But it's a crisp, cold night. 30 degrees so far through the night. The low is 17 degrees.
Ooh.
Gonna feel that one.
We've already seen it, kind of. The cold has been shown already in this first half. On that last drive alone, those drops were crucial to Cincinnati's defense, holding them for a field goal.
High end over end kick, fielded at about the 5-yard line, looking for the edge. It's Logan Wilson. He's going to get up to the 25-yard line, and that's where Cincinnati's going to have it for the 5th drive of the contest. First down and 10. Lots of whistles and lots of chippiness going on between these two teams. You'd think that this was some long-lasting rivalry between these two schools.
It is rivalry week, so maybe a little bit starting to wear off on both these teams. But again, now with 3:30 to go, you got all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. You're down 2 scores. You want to try to get on the board here, try to get a touchdown before halftime when they get the ball to start the second half.
Sorsby with 2 backs in the backfield. He's going to take the snap and hand it off to Kiner. Kiner looking for the edge against that far side of the field. He had good success last time out, but this time he's going to get dropped after a gain of about 6. So second down and 4 to go.
Yeah, I like the confidence, though, by Satterfield and the play callers on this offense, even after the fumble, to give it right back to Corey Kiner. He's a senior. He's a veteran. He knows what he has to do. Picks up 5 yards there on first down.
3:10 now to go. After I fumble over my words here in the first half. 20-7 is the score between TCU and Cincinnati. Sorsby single back in the backfield. He's going to fake the handoff. Now goes for the option play. Takes up the middle himself, and he's going to pick up the first down and be dropped at about the 38-yard line.
Nice pickup of the first down with 2:50 to go. You maybe get 1 or 2 plays, but it looks like UC's not in too much of a rush here with 2:40 to go.
Still technically plenty of time left here in this contest, and Cincinnati does get the ball back. So you score here on this drive, and you get the ball back to start the second half. You have something cooking here if you're Scott Satterfield and Cincinnati Bearcats. Sorsby sends Johnson in motion. He's going to fake the handoff. Now pressure coming. Is able to evade for the moment. Is going to be sacked in the backfield. A loss of 5. And second down and long coming up.
I thought for sure that was a face mask.
Looking at the replay here, Sorsby dropping back, and
maybe not.
It was just under about the shoulder pad. But, I mean, if you look at it in a real quick fashion, then you're going to think it might be a face mask. But that takes us to the 2-minute timeout here in Nippert Stadium. 20-7, TCU leads it when we come back. You're listening to Cincinnati football here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Welcome back to the Queen City. Cincinnati trailing 20-7 against TCU. And a couple of finals here across college football. Notre Dame beats USC 49-35. And a big upset as Syracuse takes down number 6 ranked Miami 42-38. And that means that it's SMU and Clemson in the ACC title game.
Yeah, who would have thought Miami drops 2 games at the end of their season to possibly knock them out of the postseason? We don't know. They have 2 losses now to 2 unranked teams. And we were talking about it on the break. Kyle McCord threw for just under 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has had a very interesting year. I remember watching him against Pittsburgh. He threw 5 interceptions in 1 game. And it's been up and down, but leads Syracuse to 9 wins and a win over a top 10 team.
Now SMU, it'll be the first time they meet Clemson all year. SMU with 1 loss on the season. Clemson with 3 losses on the year. They lost to number 1 Georgia to open up the season. They lose to Louisville and just lost to South Carolina today, 17-14. Back to the game at hand. Cincinnati has it after Brendan Sorsby was sacked on the play. It's now 2nd down and 16 from the 31. Cincinnati, if they score here, they get the ball back to open up the second half. After they deferred to the second half, TCU would take the opening possession down the field to score, and they now lead 20-7.
Yeah, and as I'm starting to look up at the lights above the press box here, it does look like there is a little bit of snow.
Nice end-around motion there from Tony Johnson, and he's able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Excuse me, that's Evan Pryor making it happen with his legs, and now brings up 3rd down and 10. Feel like an obvious passing down here if you're Cincinnati.
Yeah, I want to see maybe a set where there's kind of stacked receivers on one end or the other. Try to get it downfield because it's been a lot of these underthrows. We've only seen 1 really shot that hasn't quite worked, so we'll have to see with 2 men out left.
90 seconds to go here in the first half. Cincinnati trailing. Here's a handoff to Corey Kiner. Kiner in the backfield, and he's going to get taken down for a loss of 2. And here come the boos from the fans.
And that reminds me exactly of what I watched today with Ohio State. 3rd and 10, and you're running the ball. I don't really understand that.
Second charge, timeout.
Maybe if you're thinking 4 downs, but it's not 4 down territory, so I don't know why you'd run it on 3rd and forever.
And it will be the punt team to be brought out here for Cincinnati. And definitely a confusing decision from Scott Satterfield and the Cincinnati Bearcats as they will be brought out to punt here again.
Hear me out, though. Minute left. Cincinnati still has 3 timeouts. They could possibly still get the ball back. Don't want to say anything, knock on wood, but if this defense can hold, then maybe one last-ditch effort before the first half's over to try to get some points on the board.
You always watch the fake, too. Could be fun.
Yeah.
It's the end of the season. What do you got to lose?
Might as well.
The snow is starting to fall down, and it is cold enough to stick, so we'll see how that affects the rest of this contest. Mason Fletcher receives the snap. Punt is up and away. It's a low liner. It's going to be fair caught at the 28-yard line, and that's where TCU is going to have the 1st down and 10 with 1:10 remaining in the first half. An interesting decision to run it there on 3rd down.
Still don't understand it.
Gives it back to TCU, but like you said, Cincinnati does have all 3 timeouts.
Yep.
TCU only has 1. We'll see how reserved the Horned Frogs are here towards the end of the first half. I'd imagine not very.
No, especially with a passing offense like this. But also, if they throw incomplete passes, that also stops the clock. So there is still a chance to get the ball back.
Hoover sends Williams out in motion. He's going to throw it to him off the screen. Here he comes down the far side of the field. He has the edge, but he's going to get forced out of bounds after a 5-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down.
Good play call there on 1st down. Almost a little bit of a wide receiver screen almost. Lots of blockers in front of him. He only gets a couple. Looks like it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Ball placed at the 31-yard line. Really start to see the snow here coming down. Late substitution here for Cincinnati.
Oh, no.
Now, the offense can't snap the ball until the defense is set. 6 seconds on the play clock to go. 4-3. He takes the snap. Hoover does. He drops back in the pocket. He's able to step up, throws, and it's caught by McAllister. Nice. It will not be caught by McAllister. It bounced off the turf. McAllister's going to argue his case to the back judge.
We'll have to see the replay here.
It's thrown, and camera here missed it initially on the video board. Look here, and it was caught and wedged against the turf, so it will bring up 3rd down and 7 to go with under a minute to play.
Saves a timeout, too. If you can get a stop here, might have the ball with 2 timeouts.
Ball placed at the TCU 31-yard line. Trips to the bottom, single back in the backfield. Hoover takes the snap, drops back. Payne is the dump out option. Hoover now rolling out to his left, throws it on the run, and it's caught. Wide open on the sideline. And it's caught for the 1st down. TCU got it. It's Blake Noel.
Wide open, over the top, over the corners, perfectly placed by Hoover, and what a big 3rd down conversion by the Horned Frogs.
Good eyes there from Josh Hoover, able to find his man downfield. 50 seconds to go. Hoover takes the snap, looks to his left, throws, almost intercepted a diving attempt on the play. It was Josh Minkins Jr. diving for the attempted interception.
Almost a pick. And now TCU still has a timeout. 40 seconds left. You would say they're probably about 10 yards out of field goal range. I saw Lemmerman in warm-ups missed from around 50, so especially with this cold weather as well, that'll definitely affect it. So we'll have to see how the Cincy defense can hold him here.
His longest is 48. He's 0 for 1 from 50+. Hoover's going to call an audible. 5 seconds on the play clock. Has to get set here. Snaps the ball with 3 seconds on it. Throws to the right. It's high, deflected, and incomplete.
That was almost caught by the other receiver over there. That was almost chaotic. But great defense again. Brings up another 3rd down. So if you're UC's defense, got to step up here. Big time play.
Bounced through the hands of Blake Noel, and Eric McAllister was right behind him. It's almost some interesting trickery. Not even trickery, but just right place, right time for TCU. Now 3rd down and 10 from the 43-yard line of Cincinnati with 42 seconds remaining in the half. 2 backs on the backfield for TCU. Man in motion. It's Richardson, Hoover throws, and it's caught, but short of the line to gain.
Yep.
Had Noel.
They're going to go for it.
4 down territory.
Yeah.
They're under 30 seconds to go.
4th and 1 tempo, not using the timeouts. Only 20 seconds left.
Hoover takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looks, throws, sideline, caught by McAllister. And he's going to be forced out of bounds on the 20-yard line. Stops the clock with 15 seconds remaining.
TCU did a good job selling the run, play action, and then just a wide open receiver over there on the sideline by TCU. I believe it was McAllister over there who made the grab. But now obviously in field goal range, I wouldn't be surprised if TCU takes some shots at the end zones here with a timeout in their back pocket.
Going to have 3 receivers to the top, tight end as well. McAllister's all alone to the bottom. Hoover has an empty backfield. Motions out the tight end. He's going to drop back to throw. Rolls out to his left. Open space in front of him, and he's going to drop to the floor after a 5-yard gain. Dropped to the 15. Kind of dove head first at Jordan Young. That brings up a 2nd down and 5 position for TCU. And a timeout called by the Horned Frogs, their last one.
Yeah, fortunate they had a timeout there, because if they didn't, the clock would have ran out. But smart play by Hoover, picks up 7 yards to make it even more of a manageable kick. And I wonder if TCU would have sent the field goal unit out now. Yeah, no timeouts. You risk a tackle and bounce. That could end the half.
The long snapper and the holder, both out. Brent Matisic and Easton Black were out warming up. We'll see if we see a Kyle Lemmerman appearance for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, now with that snow coming down, you got to think maybe the footing, it'll have an effect on the kicker in that way. But with 8 seconds left, you probably could have one more play if you're smart. And I think that, yeah, they're going to send the offense back out. So a sack right here could end the half.
You could also see a hard count.
Yeah.
And take the delay of game.
Possibly.
And just back it up 5 yards. 2nd and 3 from the 15-yard line of Cincinnati. And now a timeout from the Bearcats.
A lot of confusion over there on that right sideline. It looked like Derek Canteen motioned over to the sideline. Definitely some missed assignments because there were 3 receivers over there. Definitely didn't look like the DBs knew what they were doing there. So good timeout by Satterfield, though. Gives you also a better chance to look at what TCU put out there on offense, but 8 seconds to go in a 20-7 game right here. The momentum definitely could be switched here with a big play.
Trying to determine the formation that TCU is going to come out in. They're going to keep their offense on the field still. Probably going to hold on to that same play that they were going to come out with. 2 receivers to the top. McAllister to the bottom. Single back in the backfield. It's Trent Battle. As Battle motions out, and he'll be the wide receiver up to the top. Hoover. Delayed snap and a false start.
Has to be. It looked like the 3 of the offensive linemen moved before the snap was even out.
It looked like it might be in everybody but the center call.
Yeah. It's a big call.
False start offense, everybody but the center. You don't hear that very often, but I love when I do.
You called it. You called it right there. Good eyes, but that's a big penalty. That's going to back him back to the 20. That's going to make it now second. Yeah, they're going to send the field goal unit out now. Wow.
That is my favorite penalty call ever. Everybody but the center. Fantastic. But it will bring out the field goal unit, as you said, and we will see Kyle Lemmerman. He's made 3 tonight.
Yeah. See, maybe special teams can step up here, try to block it.
Hey, 1 from 27 and 1 from 35. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is doinked off the side. He missed it.
Off of the upright. And how about that? UC is going to catch a huge break off the top of the crossbar. Oh my goodness.
He hit the left post.
Yeah. And you can see it on the replay. The snow is definitely coming down a lot harder than it looks like from up here. But what a break for UC's defense that's going to keep it a 2-possession game.
He missed from 38 yards out. And Cincinnati, I imagine, will just take a knee to send this to the locker room.
Yeah. But man, like I said, the momentum though just completely switches. You go into the break now, you're down 2 possessions, you're going to get the ball back. I mean, that changes the whole game.
Cincinnati heads into the halftime locker room down 20-7 against the TCU Horned Frogs. We'll come back, talk about our halftime thoughts, and prepare for the start of the second half. You're listening to Cincinnati football here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Welcome back to Nippert Stadium. Halftime between the TCU Horned Frogs and the Cincinnati Bearcats. Alongside Jack Ritchie, I'm Ethan Herzog. And it's been a tough night for Cincinnati defensively in parts. They would force third down, but then there would be a big play down the field for TCU, and it would result in 20 points. But Cincinnati has a bit of the momentum heading out of the locker room after a kick was missed from Kyle Lemmerman as it hit off the left upright.
Yeah, Kyle Lemmerman on the season, only his 6th miss on the year. He's been pretty reliable overall for TCU, but it was a big momentum switch going into the break, knowing that it's only a 2-possession game and you get the ball back. Definitely big for Cincinnati's morale, but also overall the defense has been playing really well, honestly. They've given up 20 points, but this is a TCU team that has put up 40, 50, 60 points in the last couple of weeks. So doing a good job at maintaining the defensive presence. But now, as you said over the on the break, Sorsby only 7 pass attempts in that first half. Really want to see him air it out a little more.
Looking at the stats here for Cincinnati, Brendan Sorsby is 5 for 7 with 31 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but 71% completion rating. Corey Kiner leads the Cincinnati running back room with 78 yards off 14 attempts and a single rushing touchdown. He did give up a fumble earlier in the first half. Evan Pryor, 2 attempts for 9. Brendan Sorsby has 4 attempts for 17. Receiving-wise, Evan Pryor has 2 receptions for 20 yards. His longest is a 14. He's been targeted twice. Tony Johnson is 2 for 7 yards with a long of 5. And Joe Royer was targeted once and has 1 catch for 4 yards. On the other side, Josh Hoover is 26 for 28 with 192 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And Cook leads the running back room for TCU with 3 attempts for 16 yards. Noel leads the receiving corps for TCU with 3 receptions for 75 yards, was targeted 5 times, and has 1 drop to speak of. The lone scorer for TCU is also Savion Williams with 6 attempts for 8 yards and 2 touchdowns. He would punch both scores in from the 2-yard line. Cincinnati averaging 4.8 yards per play, 6.2 yards per completion, and 4.9 yards per rush, totaling up to 134 yards, and TCU has 244. Now looking at some scores across college football real quickly before we get back to action here. As we pull up ESPN. Indiana leads Purdue 7-0, 14:53 remaining in the second quarter on FS1, and Oregon leading Washington 7-0 on NBC, 6:42 remaining in the first quarter. Iowa State is leading Kansas State 7-0 in Farmageddon over on Fox, and it's tied up at 0 between Texas and Texas A&M as the Aggies have the ball 3rd and 4 at the Texas 40-yard line. Still to come, Nevada, number 22, UNLV, and Houston, number 19, BYU. That contest on ESPN from Provo, Utah. Some finals from across college football in the ranked side of things. Michigan upset number 2, Ohio State, 13-10 earlier today. Penn State beat Maryland 44-7. Notre Dame would beat USC 49-35. An upset for the Syracuse Orange as they would take down number 6, Miami, 42-38. Number 8, Tennessee would take down Vanderbilt in comeback fashion, winning that one 36-23. Number 9, SMU would take down California easily with a 38-6 win. Number 15, South Carolina would upset number 12, Clemson, 17-14. Alabama would win the Iron Bowl 28-14 over Auburn. Number 16, Arizona State would beat Arizona 49-7. Missouri would come back against Arkansas, winning 28-21. And number 23 ranked Illinois would win 38-28 against Northwestern in an in-state rivalry. Recapping the rest of the week, on Thanksgiving, Memphis would upset Tulane 34-24 in an American Athletic Conference matchup. Georgia would just barely scrape by Georgia Tech 44-42 in 8 overtimes. Boise State would handle Oregon State 34-18. We'll move on to the Mountain West Conference title. Ole Miss would beat Mississippi State 26-14, and Colorado would shut out Oklahoma State 52-0 to wrap up the Friday slate. Big weekend of college football, and championship weekend is in a couple of weeks, and it's shaping up to be a really interesting one. And I know one that's set is Miami, Ohio, and Ohio Bobcats in a rematch of the Battle of the Bricks.
Yeah, a lot of really good games this weekend and throughout the week. I actually did tune in for that Miami Bowling Green game on, I believe it was yesterday, right? Or 2 days ago?
I believe so.
Something like that.
I can't remember.
It's week's been a blur, but
too much football.
Too much football. Well, you can never have.
I never have too much football. But I'm also watching a lot of basketball.
Right.
So
right. There's
makes it hard.
Too many sports going on at once to keep track of all of them. But it was a MAC game. Both teams went back and forth for a little bit, but Miami just obviously the better team. Even though Bowling Green has one of the best tight ends in the nation, leading that possibly is going to win the Mackey Award. But Miami going back to the MAC championship for the second year in a row. But as we're ready to get things started once again, in this second half, TCU 22-7. They lead it over the Bearcats as we are about to kick off in the season finale. The Cincinnati Bearcats trying to fight for a spot in a bowl game for the first time since 2022. Snow is starting to come down a little bit harder than the first half, so it is definitely freezing out there. Luckily, we are up here in the warm booth, but Logan Wilson set back to receive for Cincinnati. Lemmerman will kick it off for the Horned Frogs as we are getting ready to get back in action here in the third quarter.
Now, I will say that Cincinnati does have the opportunity to make a bowl game should there be too few 6-win teams in.
Fair catch caught at the 18-yard line, and that's where Cincinnati will come to start on offense. But that's interesting. I didn't actually know that. I thought you had to be 500 to make a bowl game.
So the rules stand. If there's not enough 6-win teams to make it, the APR will decide who gets in, which is graduation percentage per school.
Oh,
Number 1
really?
is Northwestern. Number 2 is Cincinnati with a
Interesting.
97% graduation rate.
Very interesting. Definitely
Northwestern has 99%, so of course they get up. But
well, yeah. Well, here we go in the second half. Sorsby in the shotgun. Corey Kiner to his left. Takes the snap handoff. Kiner bounces it out, and he is wrapped down immediately for a loss of 1 on the play. And that is going to be the first play of the second half. It'll be negative yards.
Marcus Deal got there first. I mean, just great penetration from TCU. Just bulldozed past his man and got back to Kiner in the backfield.
So now 2nd and 11 from the 24-yard line for UC, trying to make this a one-possession game early here in the third quarter. Sorsby in formation, Kiner behind him. Extra tight end there to the left. Takes a snap, play action, looking, fires it over the cross, and Xavier Henderson couldn't quite grab it over the middle. Good defense right there by TCU's secondary, and it'll be 3rd and 11.
There was a bit of contact on Henderson's arm there. Back in coverage was number 6 for TCU, and it was a little touchy, but not too much to draw the flag.
Yeah, Lamarion James, the transfer from Old Dominion, was on the coverage, and now it'll bring up a 3rd and 11. Obvious passing situation. Royer motions over to the left. Kiner motions behind Sorsby to his right. Takes a snap, drops back. Plenty of time to throw it. Gives it short. The Royer makes a play. He'll bounce off a tackle at the 30, but that's all he'll get. Only a gain of about 3 or 4. And UC's crowd not loving the play call there on 3rd and long, and UC will punt it away.
It's very reminiscent of the Cincinnati Bengals and their play style, that they display that reserved play style, and they try and go for small chunk yardage, but at the wrong times, I feel like.
So UC will punt it away now as Mason Fletcher will go out once again, punting from his own 15-yard line. Snap is clean. Fletcher goes to his right for a second, boots it away. Fair catch called for by the TCU return man at the 34-yard line, and that's where the Horned Frogs will start with possession in the second half. But this UC defense, who has been pretty good overall tonight, who have prevented multiple scoring opportunities for the Horned Frogs. They've held them to multiple field goals, including the one that went off the upright to end that first half. And For the secondary for Cincinnati, what are some of the things they need to keep doing to prevent Hoover and this TCU defense, or offense, excuse me, from getting yards?
I mean, it starts off with just the simple fact of you got to keep your receivers as close to you as possible and not let anybody behind you. I feel like Cincinnati's been burned a lot of the time, and they just have to figure out a way to keep their receivers in front of them.
Now Hoover takes a snap, play action. He's looking deep. He'll fire it underneath to the flat to his running back, but he dropped it. And another drop from the TCU offense. Tried to dump it off there underneath, but it doesn't work out. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Looking for Trent Battle there on the dump pass, out almost like an unprotected screen pass on 1st down, but that Colt's really getting to him.
So now Hoover takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. He bounces up to the 35-40, makes the man miss at the 45. He's all the way up to the 47-yard line. Nice run right there by TCU, and that'll move the sticks.
That's Trent Battle again. He and Cam Cook are that tandem running back duo for TCU. They both get a fair amount of touches between the two, and he's there to pick up the 1st down.
Another one. This time it's play action. He's going deep to the left sideline, and a nice grab all the way over there. I believe that was Eric McAllister who made the play at the 36-yard line, and a nice play by Hoover.
It almost seemed like a bit of a push off there from McAllister initially. It could be mistaken there against Jordan Young.
Oh, wow, they're going to say it's incomplete.
Looks like he may have stepped out of bounds in the process. McAllister can't believe it.
I thought he got a foot down, but I guess not. So 2nd and 10 now. Hoover in the shotgun. Looked like Carleone might have jumped for a second, but no flag is called. Hoover will audible now. 2nd down and 10 from the 46-yard line with 12 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Hoover in the shotgun. One single man to his right. Takes a snap. He hands it off up the middle. Battle again. He's met at the line of scrimmage this time. Nice defense right there underneath by UC. And it's going to bring up a crucial 3rd down early in the 3rd.
It's great penetration there from Monte Whedon. Was able to really sneak past his blocker and get him in the backfield. No gain.
So now it'll bring up 3rd down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Hoover's in the shotgun. 1 man out to his left, 2 men out right, 1 man out left for TCU. 3rd and 10. Takes a snap. Hoover drops back, looking, firing it down the right sideline, over everyone's head. No flag called. Great defense underneath right there by Derek Canteen over the top. And UC's defense once again will force TCU to go to their punt squad.
Derek Canteen, that was a dangerous bit of coverage there from him. He never turned around, and he's lucky that they didn't throw that flag.
Yeah, really wasn't turning around, but overall the ball might have been uncatchable. That might have paid into it a little bit why there wasn't a flag, but now the punt team will come out for TCU. Kick is a high arcing punt all the way down to the 20. Fair catch called at the 15. That's where he will make the grab, and UC's offense will go out for their 2nd drive of the 2nd half, but we will take a quick media timeout as UC's offense will get started once again here on the Bearcast Radio Network. Back here in the second half for UC football versus TCU, as the Bearcats offense will come out for their second drive of the second half of play. 20-7 our lead, TCU over the Bearcats with 12:15 left here in the third quarter. Bearcats trying to fight for a spot in a bowl game or to go 500 at 6-6 this season, as the Bearcats offense will come out here in the pistol back. There's two tight ends over to the right for Cincinnati's offense on this first play of the second drive. Corey Kiner is in the backfield. TCU has 5 men up front for Sorsby. Takes a snap, drops back, fires it, finds Joe Royer right under the 20-yard line for a gain of 3 or 4 yard line. And a couple yards on that play. It'll bring up a second down and 6.
And off the ball, there was some shoving there from Lamarian James and Sherman for Cincinnati. I'm not really sure what really happened here, but on that reception, Joe Royer has broke the single-season tight end receiving receptions record for the Bearcats.
Impressive stuff from Joe Royer as Corey Kiner gets stopped for no gain, and that'll bring up third down and 7. You'll actually lose a yard on the play. So now some of the receivers back in for UC on this obvious passing situation now. And now again, here we go again. 11 minutes to play. 3rd and 7 after UC just got the ball back.
And you have to wonder, when is Cincinnati going to start taking shots? Sorsby's only thrown 10 passes today, and he's completed 7.
Trips out right for UC now. Sorsby in the shotgun. Takes a snap. Drops back. Plenty of time. Fires it over the middle. Nice completion. He held on to it. What a grab. And then he lost the football. Unbelievable. Jamal Hayes had it for a second. And the ball came out, but UC's going to fall back on it at the 27-yard line. No matter what, it's a first down for the Bearcats. Almost disaster here to start the second half.
Jamoy Mays, he has to have some Vaseline on his gloves or something, because that is the second ball he's lost tonight. He lost one on a muffed punt, and he was very fortunate that he was able to get that ball back after it was stripped out of his hands.
Trips out right again for UC in the shotgun. Sorsby will drop back once again. He'll fire it to Royer to the 33-yard line. He'll pick up about 3 or 4 on the play. Royer's getting a lot of action here on this second drive of the second half, and UC gets some yardage.
I mean, that's just a simple out route there for Joe Royer, and it's exactly what you want if you're a tight end and if you're play calling for Cincinnati. And getting those chunk plays now is exactly what you want, especially trying to drive forward and pick up a couple scores.
So 2 men out left, 1 man out right for UC in the pistol back. TCU showing blitz, and they will. They'll hand it off to Evan Pryor, who'll bounce it out to the 34, and he'll get about 1 yard on the play. It's going to set up third down and 6 for UC with 9:40 to go. So another obvious passing situation for UC. 3rd down and 7. All the receivers in the game. Francis Sherman in for Joe Royer. He'll be on that right side. 2 men out left, 1 man out right. In the shotgun again. Man motion's over. Sorsby takes the snap. Hands it off. Play action. It's a QB draw. He gets the 35. Breaks a tackle. He's still going all the way to the 39-yard line. And how about Brendan Sorsby using his legs to pick up the first down by himself? The crowd is loving it, and it's a Bearcats first down.
Now, I'm okay with Brendan Sorsby doing that too, because I said this in the only other game I called this year for Bearcast Sports Radio was that Brendan Sorsby reminds me of Josh Allen. He is built like Josh Allen and has an incredible build, especially in the run game.
Seen a couple of those QB draws as UC will have a little bit of tempo now. Play action. He'll drop out back right, fires it to Xavier Henderson right through his hands at midfield, incomplete.
And that's a dangerous situation to be in as well. I mean, you look at that and it's tipped almost straight up in the air. And if there was a safety back behind there in coverage, and there was, he just wasn't quite close enough. That would have been an interception.
You can see some of the snow starting to stick on the field now. You can see some of the footprints, so it's definitely slippery out there. But now Sorsby will come in with 1 man behind him, 1 man to his right, and he'll do another QB draw. It was an option pitch option for a second. He's hit right at the line up to the 41-yard line. And he's only going to get about 2 yards on it, so it'll be third down and about 7 for UC. Again, another third and long situation from their own 40-yard line.
Probably should have pitched that one out to Evan Pryor. He was wide open on the edge, but just unfortunately decided to keep it himself. And I mean, there was a couple of defenders in the area, so.
Twins left and right for Cincinnati. Evan Pryor out to Sorsby's left. Third down and 7 from the 41 with 7:59 remaining here in the third quarter. Sorsby in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, drops back, fires it over to the left side. Joe Royer, another great catch. Throws a man off over to the 45-yard line, takes a late hit. No flags thrown, and UC will be about 4 yards short. We'll have to see what the offense does here.
That was a great physical play there from Joe Royer. I mean, he's a big, strong guy, transfer from Ohio State. Just threw the cornerback off of him. Just unfortunately couldn't quite stay in bounds.
And how about this? Cincinnati's offense will stay on the field for fourth down and about 3 yards to go. TCU puts everyone at the line of scrimmage. And oh my goodness, I thought someone jumped there for a second. No flag called. There's about 8 or 7 men on the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to drop 2 linebackers back.
They're going to have to call a timeout.
Yeah,
they
timeout.
have 1 second on the play clock.
I for sure thought one of TCU's linemen jumped. And I don't even know if UC was even going to run a play there. But that's a big timeout to call when you're down. You're going to have to waste a timeout here on one of his offensive possessions.
He did jump into the neutral zone, but got back in time. So that's not exactly a penalty. It would have been if they had snapped the ball while he was in the neutral zone. So that, unfortunately, is why Cincinnati didn't get that flag called for them. But I still think this is 4-down territory, especially with the snow coming down. It's starting to stick down on the turf. You can kind of see all the footprints everywhere on the Cincinnati side of the field, at least, where the most time has been spent. The opposite end zone perfectly untouched. We'll see how long that lasts.
So now with 7:14 to go, they are going to send Mason Fletcher out there to punt it away, which I just do not like at all. I think that's like the second or third time we've seen a conservative play call here. But I guess it is 4th down and about 3 or 4. But
there's still plenty of time left.
I'd still
here too.
like you to go for it. But, you know, if you can pin them deep, their defense has been playing good enough. So now for TCU, as Mason Fletcher will come out, low snap, goes to his right, and now a whistle is blown and a flag will come out.
False start on Cincinnati.
Waiting to hear the call, but most likely, and it will be a false start on the Bearcats. So that'll push him 5 back. And another special teams miscue, which has kind of seemed to be a little bit of a common trend here tonight. We've already seen a muff punt, multiple penalties now. So now Fletcher will go back to his own 25-yard line to punt it away. J.P. Richardson stands at about the 24-yard line for TCU. Clean snap again. Fletcher gets the punt away. High booming kick. Richardson will fair catch it at the 19-yard line. And Cincinnati will flip the field now with 7:08 to go. But we'll take a quick break here on the Bearcast Radio Network. Well, as we get play started once again with 7:08 here in the third quarter, UC just punted it away to TCU, and they will start at their 19-yard line. We were saying kind of off air, though, how we really just want Cincinnati to go for these, maybe they might be risky opportunities, but, what do you have to lose in a game like this?
You absolutely have nothing to lose in this game, and, you can just keep feeding Joe Royer. Hot hand here. He tied and broke Travis Kelce's single-season reception record with 46 just now. And they also want to make a Sickos committee comment here. Stat line for Southeast Missouri State quarterback Paxton Delorton, 48 for 85, 567 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Yeah.
Wow.
I was scrolling through Twitter at the break, and I came across that.
560 yards and 5 interceptions?
85 attempts. He threw 85 passes.
Wow.
Crazy.
Don't
Crazy
see that
stuff.
very often.
No, you really
that's
don't.
a Madden stat line.
That's the FCS playoffs are for.
Yeah, it is. But as we get play started again, trips out right for TCU and Hoover in this TCU offense. Hoover will get a direct snap. He'll break it out to the 20. Breaks off a tackle. He's still going to the 27-yard line, and a great play on first down for the Horned Frogs. Another direct snap to their quarterback, Hoover.
It's actually Haas Henji,
It was.
Henji, the freshman quarterback who this is his first appearance.
Wow.
For the Horned Frogs.
Henji, the 4-star recruit, he was the number 12 ranked quarterback in all of the nation last year, was in the Elite 11 finals as well. So he is definitely the future for this TCU team, as Josh Hoover will check back in the game after the Wildcat. He'll take the snap, hands it off to his running back. Nice tackle, though, right there in the middle of the field. I believe that was one of the safeties. It was Travion Golick-Collard who made the tackle. But either way, after the tackle, it will be, they said it was third down, but they're going to reset the sticks. It'll be a first down for TCU.
The rest of this quarter is really going to define the fourth quarter for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And how they fare against this hot TCU defense.
So now 1st and 10 from the 30. Hoover takes a snap, play action, fires it wide open, middle of the field is a wide open receiver, and it's Eric McAllister all the way up to the 43.
And that's exactly the opposite of what you want to do if you're Cincinnati. Just blown coverage over the middle.
Tempo now in the pistol for TCU. Quick handoff to the running back. He bounced it outside. Breaks off one tackle at the 47-yard line, but another nice run right there by Cam Cook, the starter sophomore out of Round Rock, Texas. Broke it out for about 4 or 5 yards, and TCU's offense starting the churning as we get close to midway. 5 to go left in this third quarter. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 48-yard line, just about at midfield now for TCU's offense. Cam Cook in the backfield to Hoover's left in the shotgun. Drake Dabney, the tight end, to his right. He'll motion over Cook to the right as well. Takes the snap, now direct handoff to Cook, who gets it up to the 50, and that's where he will be stopped, right at midfield. It'll be third down.
Good tackle there, Jared Bartlett coming out to make that stop. And I feel like he's been a big consistent for Cincinnati, and I think it might be up to him to see to try and ignite some kind of spark for Cincinnati's defense here.
So now personnel changes for Cincinnati as they'll bring in the big three. Rob Jackson, Dante Carleone, and Eric Phillips will all check in on a big-time third down now for UC. Here getting it to the end of the third. It'll be a Wildcat snap right up the middle, and he is going to be short. Great defense by Cincinnati. The linebackers and D-line will stop TCU short, and they will have to either punt it away or go for it here on 4th and short.
TCU's love the direct snap, and it looks like they're going to go for it here.
They'll go empty now. Twins out left and right for TCU. They go tempo. And now the crowd getting into it. Hoover's audibling the play now.
18 seconds on the play clock.
He'll go under center. QB sneak, and there was no one home to stop Hoover. Great play call by Hoover to check it. Now Bartlett and Hoover are chirping at each other. It has been chippy tonight.
That was just a great read there from Hoover. He saw nobody there on the left side of the field, and he just kind of bounced his way off of his left tackle and was able to pick up 3 yards off the dive.
Yeah, nice offensive scheme, having twins out left and right, drawing the DBs back, so the box wasn't as full. And now a new set of downs for TCU with 3:20 to go. Hoover in the shotgun, trips out left for TCU. Play action, a blitz for Cincinnati. Hoover will fire it deep down the field, way out of the reach of Blake Now, the senior receiver out of Ardmore, Oklahoma. It went right past his hands. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And lucky there in coverage as well. It was number 16 for Cincinnati, Jordan Robinson, back there trying to cover. No, but just a little, maybe a step in front. Threw that a step in front of his man.
Yeah, third time we've seen a little, the safety getting blown by some of these receivers. But now TCU hands it off to his running back right up the middle. Nice tackle, though, right at the 44-yard line. It'll set up 3rd down and long now. 3 to go here in this third quarter, and now a very, very big defensive play coming up.
The thing is, Cincinnati, they're not out of this game. Cincinnati has
No.
every opportunity in the world and about 16 more minutes to prove that they can beat this TCU team, and they have every ability to do it.
So now trips out right, 1 man out left, as Hoover will come in for 3rd down and 8 for TCU. He takes the snap, drops back, looks over the middle, fired, intercepted. What a play over the middle right there by Trevion Gola-Collard, who picks it off for Cincinnati. And how about the Bearcats secondary again getting the turnover?
That ball was overthrown, pressure was applied to Hoover, and he just missed his man over the top. And just right place, right time from Trayvon Gola-Collard to get the interception and set up the Cincinnati offense at the 25-yard line.
The 6'1" junior from Las Vegas, Nevada gets his first pick of the season in a huge spot with 2:34 to go and puts UC right back in the game. Unbelievably play. Maybe the snow affecting Hoover's pass on that last attempt. But now here comes UC. Trips out left in the shotgun for Sorsby. Takes a snap. Play action. Looking left. Pressure's coming. Great throw underneath of Tony Johnson. He'll make a little stutter step inside of the 34. They'll pick up about 5 or 6 on the play. And now Cincy starting to apply some tempo now with the momentum on their side.
It was a good look there and a good reception there, especially the yards after catch for Tony Johnson. Really just got to keep this going.
So now Cincinnati's offense on the move now at the 33-yard line after the interception. Sorsby takes the snap, direct handoff. Now Corey Kiner breaks it up the middle. He'll have enough to move the sticks up to the 39-yard line. And with under 2 to play in the third, here comes UC.
Kiner kind of kicking the turf, and he's still down, still slow to get up.
Joe Royer and Corey Kiner slow to get up. So Evan Pryor will come in for him. So not good for 2 of your offensive weapons come out. Francis Sherman will also check out for UC. So now with 1:49 in the third quarter, 27, TCU leads it. 1st and 10 from the 39 now. Evan Pryor and Sorsby in the pistol back. They'll stack the box now on the line of scrimmage. Sorsby takes the snap. He'll play action. He'll look back, fires it, middle of the field, right off the hands of Tony Johnson. Another dangerous ball by Sorsby over the middle, and it will fall incomplete.
Looked like he threw it straight at the face mask of Tony Johnson. And I looked at the replay and saw that Corey Kiner and Joe Royer just kind of got tangled up on that last play. So it was kind of like trapped at the ankles, and I think it twisted both of the ankles at the same time kind of thing. So just a little break for the both of them just to recuperate. And I can't imagine it feels good with the cold right now.
Definitely not. Tony Johnson will check out, and now TCU will put some more size in. They'll check out 2 of their D linemen here on a 3rd down and 7 from the pistol. 2 men out right. They'll stack the formation on the left side. Man motioning over. And now a handoff, but a timeout by Cincinnati. They're going to call their second already of the half.
Cincinnati.
Well, the issue there is that Cincinnati couldn't snap the ball because there was a substitution for TCU. So the offense can't snap the ball while the defense is bringing a substitution. But the play clock struck 0, but the back judge is supposed to raise the play clock to extend it so that Cincinnati doesn't get the delay of game because TCU was subbing out.
Interesting. Well, we will go to immediate timeout with less than 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. 20-7, TCU leads, but Cincinnati trying to crawl right back here on Nip at Night. Well, with only about 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter, Cincinnati trying to come back here on senior night against TCU. I'm Jack Ritchie alongside Ethan Herzog for this very cold and snowy Nip at Night performance by both these teams. We've seen the snow start to affect both these teams and might have affected Hoover's pass on that interception.
I think so too, and I think it may have also just been a oversight on how strong you should have thrown that ball, because it was just an overthrown pass, but nonetheless a good turnover for Cincinnati, and the first turnover for Cincinnati and second between both teams tonight. But Cincinnati really has to capitalize on this possession and possibly get a score in, because they've proven that they can handle TCU's offense. It's just a matter of if Cincinnati's offense can respond.
Well, with a minute 30 to go, it'll be second down and 10 from the 39-yard line. Cincinnati will come out, twins left and right. Evan Pryor to Sorsby's left. Corey Kiner still not in the game after he went off with an injury. Didn't seem to be too bad, but we have to keep an eye on that.
He is standing on the sideline, so he may come in here in a moment.
Now Sorsby in the shotgun. He takes a snap, drops back, looking left, fires it wide open. It's a nice completion past the 50 by Jamoy Hayes, and Cincinnati will move the sticks up the midfield.
Good spacing there from Jamoy Mays. I mean, played that route perfectly, was able to find himself wide open in space, and Sorsby, good awareness there to find the reception.
The Bearcats picked up another fresh set of downs with a minute left here in the third quarter. First and 10 from TCU's 48-yard line. Now they'll go into the pistol. Evan Pryor behind Sorsby. Man motions over. They'll hand it over to Evan Pryor to the 50. Bounces off a tackle. Gets up to about the 43-yard line. And that's all he'll get. Short yardage. Pretty much for no gain on the play. Second down and 10. And now most likely the last play of the third quarter coming up.
I mean, that was just great penetration there from TCU's defense. I mean, Cincinnati has to find some kind of way to fend off the pressure from TCU, whether it be a screen pass, whether it's a halfback strip screen or bubble screen out to the wide receiver.
So now Sorsby takes the snap, drops back, looking over the middle, wide open. Joe Royer couldn't complete it. He had it on his hands for a 20-plus gain, but it went right out on this slippery, snowy night. It was a good ball by Sorsby. Joe Royer just could not quite pull it in, and that'll set up third and 10.
And Royer, he would have had plenty of yards after that catch. He probably would have set him up in the red zone.
So now after the incompletion, it's third down and 10 for Cincinnati. Twins left and right. Corey Kiner will check back in the game to his left. Sorsby takes the snap, dropping back. It's a QB drop the middle. He's free all the way up to the 37-yard line, and they're going to move the sticks. How about Brendan Sorsby using his legs to pick up multiple first downs tonight? And we will go to the fourth quarter with Cincinnati driving here on TCU.
I mean, a great run by Brendan Sorsby. He was able to find the open space beautifully, might I add, for Cincinnati. Great momentum shift. coming up.
Absolutely. TCU dropped all their guys back and allowed Sorsby just to soar right there in the middle of the field to pick up a crucial 3rd and 10. But as we go to the 4th quarter, TCU still leads Cincinnati 20-7. Cincinnati threatening. Stay right with us here on Bearcast. Starting out the 4th quarter here at Nipper Stadium. And TCU leads Cincinnati by 2 scores here with 15 minutes to play. But Cincinnati is driving. They were inside the TCU 40 after Brendan Sorsby just picked up a 3rd and long with his legs.
And Sorsby, he's got 34 yards off 7 attempts on the night so far. He's 12 for 18 with 78 yards. And I think Cincinnati's finally figured out their offensive game plan, and I think the snow might be helping because, I mean, obviously you look at TCU, and they're from Texas. It's hot. It's not as snowy. There's rarely ever snow in Texas. In Cincinnati, they have been practicing in the cold for weeks upon weeks on end.
Yeah.
As the Novembers get very cold here in Cincinnati. So there's a little bit of an advantage when it comes to that, but I don't think either of these teams have played in snow in years.
Yeah, but you would think Cincinnati, being from Ohio, is definitely used to it more rather than, like you said, a Texas team that's used to that dry humidity. But as we say that, Cincinnati will get the ball at the 37-yard line as we are about to get underway in the 4th quarter. TCU leads Cincinnati by just under 2 touchdowns here. 1st and 10 from the 37 now for the Bearcats. 2 men wide right for Cincinnati. Evan Pryor to Sorsby's left in the shotgun. Tony Johnson motions over. Play action for Sorsby. He'll get it to Tony Johnson in the flat. He'll dump off. Big time hit by Tony Johnson, laying Lamarion James out over there at the 30. It'll be a gain of about 5 on the play.
James is going to fill that one in the morning. Just nice catch and run there from Tony Johnson again. It's going to be Tony Johnson's 5th reception on the day. He's only trailing Joe Royer in passing yards with 23.
Well, right as we say that, Lamarion James goes out of the game. Sorsby now pitches it. It's a trick play. He'll go deep. Looking, Jamar Hayes, and it got broken up. Oh my goodness, what a play design. What a play that could have been in the snow. Jamoy Hayes could have caught the touchdown from Tony Johnson to make this a 1-score game. I love the play call.
And the funniest thing was during the break, I was scrolling on Twitter, just kind of seeing how people were reacting to this game, and someone was like, does Satterfield have any trick plays in his pocket? Yes, he does. And we just saw it right there, and it almost worked out to perfection.
Thought there could have been a flag possibly, but it'll be 3rd down and 6 now. Sorsby takes the snap over the middle, gets it to a tight end over the middle, but he'll be about a yard short It'll be 4th down and 1. Joe Royer, the reliable tight end, once again gets the reception. You got to go for it here if you're UC.
I mean, this is 4-down territory right here. 14:07 left in the final frame of this one. You're down by 2 scores. You got to do it.
Probably would be different if it was a 10-point game, obviously, but down 13, you got to go for it in this situation. Cincinnati in the shotgun, twins left and right for UC. Sorsby takes the snap, direct handoff. Corey Kiner bounces it, 1st down and more, all the way to the 23-yard line. 1st down, UC.
Now, you just got to keep this going. I mean, you've got Corey Kiner. You know Corey Kiner can get there. Keep maybe sneaking in a handoff to Evan Pryor. Pryor could hit that home run. You never know when. So Cincinnati on the right track here late in this contest.
Big time pickup on 4th down after keeping the offense in. They'll have it at the 23-yard line for a new set of downs with 13:20 to go in the 4th. They're going to send trips out right now. Joe Royer over there as well as Francis Sherman on the left side. 2 tight ends in now for UC. Takes a snap. Play action. Sorsby looking left. Pressure. He bounces out left. Then he goes to the 20, and he'll go out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Nice play by Sorsby using his feet again. He'll pick up 5 on the play.
He had a lot of good runs. I kind of wish he had cut back inside. He had enough space to do so, maybe pick up the 1st down, but nonetheless stop the clock by stepping out of bounds a few yards shy of the sticks. So it works out in the end.
It'll be 2nd down and 4 now from the 17-yard line for Cincinnati. It has been a long, methodical drive for the Bearcats, trying to cash in to make this a 1-score game to put their defense back on the field. 2 men out right for Cincinnati in the pistol now. Sorsby with Kiner behind him. He'll take the snap. Johnson motioned over. Corey Kiner goes to the 10, and he's just short.
Looks like they may have got it.
Man.
We'll see where the spot is, but that's physicality from Corey Kiner.
Yeah.
I mean, he just jumped into that scrum.
How about Corey Kiner picking up the 1st down, and it is a 1st down at the 12-yard line. New set of downs for the Cats.
This is a good drive here for Cincinnati. This is the tempo that you need if you're the Bearcats, especially down this big, this late in the game.
And now the Bearcats will go in the pistol again. They stack the box over to the right. Cats trying to cash in on a very, very nice drive. Play action over the middle, almost intercepted. Terrible throw by Sorsby. It was underthrown and almost picked off by Namdi Abizar, the senior from Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and he's probably used to this snow, but he couldn't quite pull it in, and the Cats will get away with one.
I don't think that Sorsby saw him hiding, because he was crouched down while that play developed, because it was just a quick RPO, and Sorsby thought he just thought he had him.
Like you said, looking for the quick pass over there on the left side, but now they'll go empty. Sorsby, twins left and right for the Bearcats. Takes a snap, drops back. He's looking, still looking. Looking right now. He throws it up deep in the end zone, and it's going to be intercepted in the corner of the end zone. Unbelievable. Channing Canada will pick it off for his 1st interception of the year, and the longest drive of the day for the Bearcats will end up in a turnover.
That's going to be 1st and 10 from the 20 for TCU, and that's just a stab through the heart if you're Cincinnati, and just desperation if you're Brendan Sorsby. It was not the best throw of the game, not the best read, and he's going to end up wishing he had that one back.
Sorsby had plenty of time to throw it. He was looking for a receiver for about 10 seconds. He threw a very, very high ball to the right corner of the end zone, right in front of the student section. But a nice interception by Canada will put TCU pretty much in full control of the game now with just over 11 to play. And a long drive that had 3rd down conversion after 3rd down conversion all the way down inside of the 15. Ends up in an interception. We'll go for a quick break, but stay with us here in the 4th quarter of Cincinnati football. Back here at Nippert Stadium, I'm Jack Ritchie alongside Ethan Herzog. Once again, with 11:34 to play in the fourth quarter, but we just saw the longest drive of the day for UC, yardage-wise, intercepted in the end zone by Channing Canada, the cornerback junior, who picked it off for TCU, and they will reset it at the 20.
Now that drive from Cincinnati, I mean, that had to have been capped off with points, and you look at how long that drive went and lasted about 6 minutes, and just unable to punch it in, and it wasn't a good read from Sorsby, and really should have just found a way to maybe dump it off or rush his way out of it.
Or if anything, throw it out of bounds or something. I mean, you got to do something to get points on the board, but otherwise, anyway, TCU will get the ball back at the 20. The defense is going to have to make it stop quickly to try to get the offense back on the field. Takes a snap, Hoover looking flat to his running back, who will hurdle a man at the 30. Nice play underneath right there. It will be Savion Williams, the star receiver out of Marshall, Texas. Makes a nice play there, and it'll be a gain of 7 on the play.
Savion Williams, he's been all over the field for TCU. I mean, he's got 2 touchdowns on the night. He has both touchdowns on the night, might I add, for TCU, and I mean, displaying athleticism there as well.
So now UC's defense with 11 to play, who's already stepped up multiple times, desperately needs to try to get the ball back to the hands of their offense. It'll be a pitch now, outside. He'll put a head down, big time hit. It was Savion Williams again on the pitch. And let's see where they mark him. He was right there at the line of scrimmage there, right at the 30-yard line. He went out of bounds, and they're going to mark him just short, so now 3rd and inches. So big time play now, 3rd down in a little bit to go. The Cincinnati defense, who has been tested a lot today by one of the highest scoring offenses in the Big 12, but they have stood their test, not allowing a point since about halfway in the second quarter tonight. And now Hoover's going to be walking off the field. I wonder if they're going to review this or something. No, TCU's going to call timeout with 10:16 to go on 3rd down and 1.
An interesting decision to call a timeout there. I mean, I feel like you want the momentum going into that 3rd down play, especially with a 3rd down and maybe an inch to go. It says in Cincinnati, I mean, they have had good penetration, especially in these instances where they're right there on the edge of the line to gain, and we're going to have to see what TCU comes out with.
So now it's 3rd down and 1 from the 29-yard line. 10:16 to go in the ball game. Cincinnati down 2 scores, and obviously now you start to look at those timeouts. Only 1 timeout left in the back pocket to use, and those timeouts they took earlier in the half are going to come back to haunt them, as they're going to have to try to get 2 possessions back to their offense.
And I mean, you look at it too. And this means that you're going to have to throw the ball. And Brendan Sorsby, he hasn't done that a lot. And I don't know if that's per him requesting it or if it's per something else, but Sorsby's only thrown 22 passes today, and Hoover's thrown 35. And that trick play was Evan Prater, who was the quarterback turned wide receiver for Cincinnati. Saw a lot of action last season, but not much to speak of this year. But he had just underthrown that ball. Maybe if it had gotten a little bit higher, he would have had the touchdown, and we wouldn't be in the situation where we are right now.
Yeah.
Still down 2 scores.
Well, if they scored that touchdown, just like you said, that would have changed this whole game right now. It would have been 3rd down and 1, and if we got the ball back to our offense, we had a chance to go take the lead. But instead, they're fighting down 2 scores with 10 to play on a snowy night here at Nippert Stadium. There were a good amount of people here before. We've seen some people leave the stadium. Obviously, it is under 20 degrees right now. It's freezing out. I can't even imagine what the players are feeling like.
And it's going to hurt. That's the thing, is that this is going to hurt when you're, getting hit in 30-degree weather. It's not exactly a fun thing, and I understand people leaving, especially right now. You're down by 2 possessions with 10-16 left in the fourth, and another, I would say, disappointing season for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That, yes, they won 2 more games than they did last year, but they should have won more. They should already be bowl eligible at this point.
Especially how they started off the season so hot. They were coming in, I believe they were like 5-2 at one point.
They were 5-2, and now they're 5-7.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, that's just unacceptable, to be honest, all around. But either way, looking at it, this is a big play here, 3rd and 1. There are 4 men in the backfield now for TCU. It'll be a direct handoff once again. And UC's going to get to the line, and I believe he's short.
He lost a yard.
Unbelievable penetration at the line of scrimmage by the Cincinnati defensive line, and he will be short. Great stop on a direct handoff to Cam Cook in the backfield.
And that was the same play that Savion Williams scored on twice in this game, and the Bearcat defense finally figured it out. Was able to find the right penetration. I think it's going to bring out the punt team for you, TCU.
It will. They're going to bring the punt team out. You got to watch for a fake here, though. It's 4th and inches. They might do you never know. They could do a direct snap right to one of their up backs. You got to watch for that here.
Those are 3 big up backs there.
Wow. Definitely some big guys there in the backfield, and it will be to the punter. Low snap. He'll get the punt away, and it's a booming kick. Jamoy Mays will let it bounce way back at the 15. Oh, my goodness. It's going to go all the way down to the 6-yard line. What a punt.
Wow.
Right there by Ethan Craw out of Tasmania, Australia. Just completely flipped the field. And now with 9 minutes to play, Cincinnati's going to have to go 94 yards.
That was the 5th punt today for Ethan Craw. His longest this season is 59. Waiting to get the official distance on this punt.
And that was a booming kick.
That was
in the snow.
Honestly, an incredible feat of athleticism there for the punter.
Especially on a low snap, too. Like,
it was a 65-yard punt.
Oh, my goodness.
Punters are athletes, too.
So now Sorsby will come out, hands it off to his running back, and he is still churning all the way up to the 17-yard line.
Beast mode.
Corey Kiner just putting his head down and just letting it eat. So UC will get out of their own 10-yard line now. But the Bearcats kind of have to start playing with some tempo with 9 minutes to play. You got to go the complete field, and obviously only 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning left. They'll be in the shotgun, twins left and right for Cincinnati. Sorsby takes the snap, drops back, looking left. Plenty of time to fire it over the middle. Joe Royer was contacted, but no flag is called. Good defense by TCU over the middle, and then it'll be 2nd and 10.
It looked like a little bit of contact there, but clearly not enough for the umpire to make the call. But still, Cincinnati, they're going to have to find the right tempo that they want to play with to get this done. And they had it earlier, but now it seems like the tempo slowed a little bit down here with 8.5 to play.
So now 8.5 to play, their own 16-yard line. It'll be play action. Sorsby's looking to his left, fires it. Middle of the field, and it is incomplete. Was looking for Xavier Henderson, and it was Lamarion James on the coverage again for the Horned Frogs. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
It bounced off his chest. He tried to catch it with his shoulder pads, and what you to do? You always catch it with your hands. You never catch it with your body because you risk the ball bouncing off of that part of your body and out for the incompletion like we just saw.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 10 now for Cincinnati. Sorsby has 2 men out far right, 1 man out left in the pistol. Takes the snap, play action. Sorsby, pressure coming, fires it sideline. What a grab. And an amazing throw and catch to Sterling Burkhalter all the way for a 1st down for Cincinnati.
Another Cincinnati native went to Princeton High School making it happen. Good pickup there for Burkhalter.
And what a throw by Brendan Sorsby with a man in his face on 3rd and 10, a play you had to have. And now with 8 minutes left in the ball game, Cincinnati is going to have to try to start coming back here. 2 men far right again for Cincinnati. Xavier Henderson ISO there on the left. Sorsby takes the snap. He looks left. He's looking for his Henderson. He goes down the field wide open. What a grab. Xavier Henderson all the way down to the 44-yard line. What a grab by number 8.
And it helped that Lamarion James slipped on the play, and he fell to the floor, and now the Snow's giving a little bit more of an edge here for this contest.
So they go tempo again. Kiner was hit right at the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, but just like I was saying, Xavier Henderson was ISO'd there on the left side. Lamarion James slipped, Sorsby hit him, but now tempo starts to pick up now. 7:20 to go in the game. Trips out right for Cincinnati. He looks left. Sorsby will take off now to the 45-40, 35-30. Sorsby breaks out to the 20, all the way down inside the 20-yard line. Brendan Sorsby using his legs once again, and the Bearcats are almost inside the red zone.
It's almost like the cold stiffening up this TCU defense, and Sorsby, he's limber and spry, and he's going to take off for the first down.
No huddle again. Sorsby will take off again. Pass into the 20, to the 15. Takes a hit at the 11-yard line. It'll be a yard short of the line to gain. And how about Brendan Sorsby? 2 runs in a row.
And that's just the magic that Sorsby can produce. I mean, he's dangerous through the air. He has that long bomb, but when he can't throw it through the air, he's got the legs, and he can make it happen on the ground.
So that'll set up 2nd down and 1 from the 12-yard line. 6:30 to go. Now they'll have a huddle. They'll slow down the tempo a little bit. You really want to score, though, before about 5 minutes to left to give your defense a chance if you can punch it in here for a touchdown. Now in the pistol. Handoff direct to Kiner up the middle. Bounces it up to the 4-yard line. And how about Corey Kiner getting the first down and more inside the 5-yard line? First down, Bearcats.
This is his third game. This is his third game in a row with 100 rushing yards total and 6 this season.
No huddle. He'll hand it off to Kiner again up the middle. This time he stops short at about the 2.5-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Kiner, another great showing, lowering his shoulder, just trying to squeeze past this defense. He has 1 touchdown already. He's trying to make it 2.
So now some personnel changes. They'll bring in Tony Johnson as well as Jamai Hayes into the ball game now. 5:40 to go. It's 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line with 5:30 to play. They'll have trips out left, and Xavier Henderson is all alone on the right side. Kiner will go out, and they'll go empty now. And now a flag will come out, and oh my goodness, I think it's a false start. It will be the right tackle, Philip Wilder, who moved on the play.
No. Well, this does give you more space to throw the football.
True. They were going empty there, 5 wide before the penalty. That's going to back them up to the 8-yard line now, and obviously 4-down territory, so you still got 3 plays to work with, but like you said, a little more space to spread out the TCU defense. So now 3 men out right, 1 man out left. Xavier Henderson again is ISO'd now on the left side. They're going to flip the field. Sorsby takes the snap, fires it. Xavier Henderson, it was up and no good. Looking for a flag. So much contact, but no foul is called. Great defense over there on the opposite corner by Javen McClever Jr. out of Charlotte, North Carolina. It'll bring up 3rd down.
And you really got to be careful there if you're McClever, because he is taunting the Cincinnati fans, and that might result in a flag here eventually.
Yeah, a lot of contact, but great defense. Just like you said, was mocking the UC crowd. And now here on 3rd down and goal from the 8-yard line. 5:20 to go. Trips out right, 1 man out left. Exact same formation. This time it'll be a handoff. Takes it up the middle. Breaks off a tackle. And he got in. Brendan Sorsby. Big body moves inside. Puts a TCU defender down. And Cincinnati is crawling their way back here on a snowy night at Nippert Stadium.
And you remember that time that I talked about Josh Allen and Brendan Sorsby?
Oh, yeah.
Right there. That's exactly what you want to see. Brendan Sorsby, physicality, lowers the shoulder, and is not afraid to get down and dirty, which you don't see in many quarterbacks now.
How about Brendan Sorsby using his legs? They're going to check. I believe they're checking to see if he scored. They're not letting Cincinnati kick the extra point quite yet. I thought with that extension of the right arm, he got in. They're checking momentarily. But just like you said, how many times tonight have we seen Sorsby just take off, lay down a defender? I mean, he has had a day on the ground.
Sorsby now with 82 rushing yards and currently a touchdown as it stands. So we're being held, and the call is confirmed.
All right. So they're going to go to kick a crucial extra point to make it a 6-point game. Nathan Hawks will go in. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is off the upright. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? A huge miss by that would have made it a 6-point game. That is Nathan Hawks. Oh my goodness. Offsides is called. A huge break for UC after a missed extra point, which would have been his second of the season on this snowy night. But an offsides penalty by TCU will give them another shot.
Sonny Dykes is going to want that one back.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even see the flag.
I didn't either.
So they're going to go again and move them up slightly closer. Nathan Hawks, this is a crucial kick. This would make it a 6-point game for UC. So they'll go again, this time for a little bit closer. 5:15 to go. Up.
And he shanked it wide
again.
left.
He missed it again. Oh my goodness. 2 in a row. I believe if we can look at a replay, I believe the holder mishandled it. I'm pretty sure. A clean hold on it. And they're not even going to show the replay, I believe. But that is a huge mistake by UC Special Teams that'll make it a 7-point game. But either way, 20-13, TCU leads. Cincinnati makes it a 1-score game with 5:15 to play. We'll take a quick media timeout. Stay with us for closing time here at Nippert Stadium. Nippert Stadium, we're back here once again, 20-13. TCU leads it with 5:15 to play. An amazing drive led by Brendan Sorsby, who scored on a 3rd and 8 touchdown run, which made it a 1-score game. But Nathan Hawks misses 2 extra points in a row to make it 20-13, a crucial miss. But now TCU getting the ball back, and UC's defense, who have stepped up all night, are trying to get the ball back to their offense for one more try.
You have to wonder, in terms of special teams, when are we going to have an answer for the coaching staff, including Scott Satterfield and Kerry Coombs?
A low squib kick now by Cincinnati, fielded by the returner for TCU, and he is hit and tackled at the 31-yard line. But just like what you were saying, I mean, that just can't happen at the Division I level. I know it's snowy. I know the conditions might not be exactly what you want. I'm pretty sure, from my vantage point, I don't believe it was on Nathan Hawks on that second one. I think it was a low snap and a low hold. But either way, I mean, that's just an unbelievable miscue. But either way, here we go. TCU on offense. Cincinnati's defense trying to get off the field again. So here we go. Trips out left for TCU. Josh Hoover in this TCU offense trying to put the icing on the cake. And here comes Hoover. He bounces out to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, and he's tackled out of bounds at midfield. A crazy run by Hoover. No one was around, and TCU picks up a huge gain.
There was a missed block in the back there as well, but Hejny, he's had the first play from scrimmage every possession today as he remains into this game. So I think we're going to see a lot more rushing here from TCU, especially after Hoover threw that pick earlier in the game.
I've brought it up before. Only one timeout left for Cincinnati with 4:30 to play, as well as the 2-minute warning. Hoover in the shotgun with trips out right. It'll be the exact same play. Hoover gets up the middle, and no, that's not Hoover. That's the backup running quarterback for TCU. He gets about 5 on the play. It's Haas Haney again getting the direct snap, and he stays in the game. It's a gain of 5. With 4 to play, Haney will stay in the game. And if you're UC, it's an obvious rushing attack. How are you going to get him here?
I've said it all season. You need to crowd the box more. You can't keep running this 3-3-5. You have to find a way to put at least one more person in the box and make it some kind of 4-3-4-4. You can't keep running this 3-5 because it's going to lead to big rushing opportunities because all of your secondary defense is all back in the defensive backfield.
I absolutely agree, but they'll come out again in shotgun, and now TCU, I believe, is going to call a timeout, and they will. So with 3:39 to play, it's 2nd and 7 from the 45-yard line, but I agree. Running this 3-3-5 defensive scheme, we've seen it a couple times, especially saw it against Pittsburgh, when they blew that lead at the end of the game. It's just been defensive miscues. It's been offensive miscues all season long, which has led us to this point.
It almost feels like Tyson Vite's defensive scheme is a one-trick pony. All it has is a 3-3-5, and that's why we've blown so many games. I feel like he never changes the defensive scheme. It's always 3 men in the box. It's always Dante and Eric, and right now I can't remember the name. Rob Jackson is always in the box, your 2 ends and your nose tackle. You never have a linebacker pushing up to play maybe another outside contain, shifting one of the ends inside, and it's never made sense. It's never made sense to me. Yeah. Someone who rolls by the 4-4. I am a 4x4 defensive scheme kind of guy, and I'm used to seeing that
when I watch Ohio State football with Jim Knowles' play calls, is that they always rush forward. He always trusts his defensive front to make the plays, and usually it does work out. But now, after the timeout, it's 3:39 left to play. Haney, the third string, who's played a little bit tonight in the run game, will still be in for TCU. He'll take the snap. It's another run with Haney. He's right up the middle, and it's another first down for TCU.
And something has to give, and if Cincinnati can't stop this drive, this game is over.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. That's 3 straight carries by Haney right up the middle for another gain of about 7 or 8. It'll be a pickup of first down. They're at the 37-yard line. You would think that to be in field goal range, you would probably hope to get a couple more yards with the snowy conditions. But now with 3 to play and only 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning left, if you don't stop him here, that's most likely it. And now Haney in the game again. He's had 3 straight runs. He's going to go for another one. And he is up the middle, and he is still going to get about 3 or 4 yards. And I just, at this point, when do you understand that if Haney is in the game, it is going to be a direct QB run either to the left or the right? I mean, it's simple defensive schemes. I don't understand it. Haney remains in. He's had 4 straight runs, and he's gotten positive yardage on every single play. This will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. It's 2nd and 7. This is a very big play for Cincinnati's defense. And now 18 on the play clock. Haney gets the sign again. He's ran it 4 straight times. They dare go for the 5th. Cincinnati still in their 3-3-5 defense, as they always are. And now TCU will call their final timeout.
No, it'll be.
It'll be the 2-minute warning. All right. So we'll go to the 2-minute warning, and we'll take a quick media timeout. 2 minutes to play in Nippert Stadium. Stay right with us. Two minutes to play here in a snowy Nippert Stadium on Saturday night. The Bearcats fighting for bowl eligibility for the first time since 2022, but now the defense has their biggest challenge of the whole game. With 2 to play, it's 2nd and 7 from the 34-yard line of Cincinnati, and TCU, for the first down, would most likely ice it here tonight.
It's been a tough showing defensively for Cincinnati down the stretch. And I mean, they had that good takeaway. They had the interception earlier in the half. They were able to capitalize off of said interception. It's just a matter of they have to figure out some kind of way to get past this offensive scheme of TCU. They have ran it 6 straight times this drive and have gained plenty on this. And now is not the time to bend, don't break.
And 4 of them have been from the quarterback, and they've all worked. I mean, it's just, obviously you got a timeout now by TCU. You've had a lot of time to think about it. What do they come out with? I mean, you've got to apply some pressure at some point. This is it. If they get a first down, it's over. So you got to apply some pressure. If you hold them to a field goal here, it would be about a 47, 48-yarder in this snow. So at this point, your only hope is to hold him here. But obviously, if TCU picks this up, it is over. So here we go. Teams will come out of their breaks and buckle up. It is on with 2 to go. 2nd and 7. And Haney is still out there for TCU. He has ran it 4 straight times. He will come with 2 running backs, I'm guessing to his left. Drake Dabney, the big time 6'5", 225 tight end, is in there for TCU. They'll have 2 wide receivers far left. Cincinnati looks to still be in that 3-3-5 formation. Unbelievable.
You've got 3 defensive linemen on in the box, and looks like you have 4 linebackers out, running a 3-4. Bit of an outside edge contain.
Trent Battle to Haney's left. It'll be another run. He's tripped up at the 40 or at the 39-yard line, and UC is going to use their last timeout. All right, so they did it again, and here we go. This is the game.
The blitzing linebacker and Jake Golday, the Sam linebacker, he came screaming in, and He was blocked, but he was able to trip up the quarterback. So a good stop there on third down, and this is it. This is the game this decides the game. If Cincinnati can somehow force a turnover or some kind of field goal, but you don't want a field goal.
No.
You are to the point where you need to get a turnover now. If they kick a field goal, you have to go down, score, get the 2-point, and then onside kick and hope you get the onside kick.
Yeah. So Josh Hoover's getting some warm-up throws over there on that far sideline. I would believe they would put him back in. It was 5 straight runs with Haas Haney, the freshman from Aledo, Texas, who hadn't played all season long, but he has been effective on the running game tonight. And oh my goodness, I believe he's still in the game, as Josh Hoover will trot over to the sideline. So Haney is still in the game. He's ran it 5 times in a row with just under 2 minutes to play. This is it right here. Season on the line, bowl eligibility on the line, 3rd down and 7 from the 34 for this Cincinnati defense, who have been getting picked apart this whole drive. And now this crowd who has buckled up for this snowy game tonight are trying to see if the Bearcats defense can hold him. Haney will get it. It's another quarterback run, and this time he will go down. Cincinnati's defense finally makes a stand. 6 straight runs by Haney and the TCU offense, and this time it doesn't work, but the offense is staying on the field.
This is 4-down territory for TCU. Because in TCU's mind, you have to score to ice this game. Because if TCU goes and scores with that much time left, Cincinnati has the opportunity to go march down the field, score, and have an onside kick. And Sonny Dykes does not want to risk that from Cincinnati. So this is 4-down territory for TCU. Cincinnati has one more down before they can be comfortable possibly letting this happen. Or TCU is going to run down the clock, then punt. 2 options.
It'll be interesting. They called their final timeout with 1:10 left. TCU leads it by 7 with 1:10. They're at the 34-yard line. It would be a very long field goal, but from the true freshman who's already missed today in the snowy conditions. Like you said, it's 4th and 7. Do you go for it and try to win the game, or do you punt it and try to pin Cincinnati inside their own 5 and have to go the length of the field with 1 minute left and no timeouts?
This is a 43-yard field goal for the freshman place kicker and Kyle Lemmerman. And looking at his stats, he has made a 48-yard career long. He is 0 of 1 from 50 plus, 4 of 7 from 40 to 49 yards. And he's 11 for 17 on the season.
We saw him hit one off the upright earlier, and they're going to keep the offense on the field, and here we go again. This is it right here. 4th down and 7 from the 34-yard line. TCU will put their starter, Josh Hoover, back in after the backup, Haas Haney, came in for 5 or 6 straight plays. And now here we go. This crowd getting into it. Here at Nippert Stadium at 9, you could not have painted a better picture here in late November. Empty backfield, 5 wide here for Cincinnati. Game, it is a false start by the right tackle. Mike Nichols, the senior from Justin, Texas, will move, and that'll back TCU up 5 yards. Unbelievable.
That's huge.
That's a huge penalty. Huge. That's going to make it 4th down and 12. And now does TCU think to punt it?
That's a dangerous spot, because if you
they're going to punt it. They're going to punt it
even a little bit, you're not going to pin Cincinnati.
Wow, a absolutely enormous false start by the reliable senior right tackle Mike Nichols, number 71, and they're going to send the punt unit out. So Cincinnati, whose special teams has been very, very shaky all day. Jamoy Mays will be back at the 10-yard line. Cincinnati is so flustered. I don't know what is going on. They don't even have it 12 men on the field or 11 men on the field. And they finally get their substitutions in now. The punter back is Ethan Craw, who boomed a 60-plus punt earlier. It's a high arcing punt down to the 10, and it's going to drop down at the 3-yard line. So Cincinnati, with a minute remaining, will have to go 97 yards to save the season.
To tie it.
To tie it. You're right. Good point. If they would have hit the extra point earlier, like we said, they would have a chance to go win the game. But they need to go 97 yards in 1 minute with no timeouts to tie the game and send it to overtime. So now here comes the Bearcats offense. Oh my goodness. What a game we have had tonight. The defense steps up right when we needed them to, even when it was looking shaky. Sorsby in his own end zone, fires it to the flat. Joe Royer will make a man miss. Down at the 5, he's dragged out by his arm, out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. So that will stop the clock. 53 seconds left. You want to try to get to around the 50 or 40-yard line to try to get a Hail Mary if you can't connect on a big pass here.
Or it's going to be a lot of working the sideline. That's all they're going to have to do. And there's also a chance that they are able to break one out. So we'll see.
So now Sorsby in the shotgun. Trips out left for Cincinnati. Sorsby drops back, fires it. Middle of the field, Xavier Henderson makes the grab, and that will be enough for a first down. The clock stops. 46 seconds. You got to go, though, if you're UC. So now tempo, no huddle. They'll set it, clock runs. 45 seconds. Sorsby in the shotgun. Twins left and right. He drops back, fires it, sideline. Got a man. Jamoy Mays makes the play out of bounds with 39 seconds. He'll be up to about the 24-yard line.
And another thing that you have to keep in mind, too, is the clock won't run until the sticks get set when they do move on first down. So Cincinnati has a little bit more time than they might think that they have, but they still have to move quickly.
So now the Bearcats will have it now at the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 2 with 39 seconds left. 2 men out left, 1 man out right. Sorsby drops back, fires it again to the sideline. Nice throw to Tony Johnson. That'll be enough for a Bearcats first down with 35 seconds and stops the clock.
And this is exactly what you want, just those good 5-yard out routes, maybe finding a way to sneak in a 10-yard, maybe some kind of post route. But Cincinnati clicking right now in the right way. We'll see how they keep it up.
So now UC will have it at their own 28-yard line, 1st and 10 with 35 seconds remaining in the game. 2013, TCU leads it by 7, trips out right for Brendan Sorsby in the offense. Sorsby takes the snap, pressure's coming, fires it down the field. That has to be a penalty, and there's the flag. Big-time pass interference drawn by Tony Johnson with 30 seconds remaining, and Cincinnati is starting to drive with 30 to go.
Now, that's Bud Clark. He tripped up Tony Johnson. It's almost like he kicked his leg out from under him in a way.
Absolutely.
So but unfortunately not spot of the foul. And
right.
The difference here is that the NFL is spot of the foul. In college, it's just a 15-yard penalty. That's it.
But either way, that'll stop the clock and put UC up to their own 40-yard line now with 30 seconds to play. And they're actually going to put a second back on the clock. So there's 31 seconds left now on the game clock. Trips out right. 1 man out left for Brendan Sorsby in the shotgun. Umpire still not letting Sorsby snap the ball, and now he will. Joe Royer will motion now into the slot. Sorsby with 31 seconds remaining. He'll drop back. He's looking, surveying the field. He has to do something. He breaks off. 35-40, 45-50. Gets the first down and out of bounds with 24 seconds left. And it's another first down for Cincinnati.
The strong drive, and we've seen plenty of these definitely in this style moving forward for Cincinnati, especially late in the game. It led to the most recent touchdown from Sorsby, and there we go, seeing him again, taking it off with his legs. He now has 82 rushing yards on the night, slowly coming up on Corey Kiner's total of 110.
24 seconds remaining, and the Bearcats now have it at TCU's 49-yard line. trips out left. Sorsby takes the snap, drops back, pressure's coming, fires it middle of the field, completes it all the way up, but that's not a first down. Clock's running. 15 seconds, 14 seconds, you gotta go. 12 seconds, clock is down. 10 seconds. Oh my goodness, you gotta snap the ball. 5 seconds left. Oh my goodness, an absolute fluster. They waste 10 seconds off the clock, and now this is it. 3 seconds left on the clock from the 39-yard line, and this is the game. Cincinnati is going to have to throw it deep and hope for some nipper-at-night magic with the season on the line to try to tie the game from the 39 of TCU. Brendan Sorsby, who we've seen him struggle tonight. Does he have one more vintage moment for this season for Cincinnati? 3 seconds remaining. TCU leads it by 7. They'll have 3 men out left, 1 man out right. Brendan Sorsby, plenty of time, drops back. Sorsby lets it loose, back of the end zone, and it's incomplete. And that's the game. Cincinnati will lose it 20-13 as TCU will get their 8th win of the year, and Cincinnati drops to 5-7 on the season, and it's just an unbelievable way to lose the final game of the year. And just, again, there's so many things to be said about this Cincinnati team. There's got to be some changes. UC will end the regular season at 5-7. They improve from their 2023 record with 2 more wins, but Cincinnati will drop the season finale 20-13 here tonight at Nimberg Stadium.
And I mean, it's embarrassing if you're Cincinnati. So many games that ended by 1 score, so many games that you had the opportunity to win. And this team should be going to a bowl game. They should have a 9-win season. They have had all of the opportunities in the world, and it boils down to the lack of good coaching for Cincinnati. There has to be an answer for Scott Satterfield, and the decision to hire Scott Satterfield after looking at his history and what he's done. There is no reason that we should have a coach going into the Power 4 that has now produced mediocre seasons twice. This is not what Cincinnati should settle for. This is mediocrity at its finest. This is not what this program should be. Cincinnati went from multiple 10-plus win seasons in a row, the college football playoff, to this in the Big 12. And you can say it's growing pains. You can say it's this. You can say it should have been his guys. But we've seen his guys. These are his men. He's lacking recruiting in the Cincinnati area. He is lacking recruiting in Ohio specifically. There is a lot to be answered for this coaching staff, and there is going to be an uproar from Cincinnati fans moving forward, especially in the next couple of days.
It's just unbelievable. I mean, we said it a little bit earlier. This team was 5-2. They were on the uprise. All the hype was around them. They were hopeful, and the Bearcats now have dropped 5 in a row to end the season. 5 losses in a row. They will finish off the year 3-6 in the Big 12, not even playing some of the toughest teams in the conference. And again, what you said, for this Cincinnati program, who we've seen multiple recruits flip to other schools, and for Scott Satterfield, as I just saw a fan throw a snowball into the field. That's pretty funny. But this program, this community, this city deserves better. And for a team that just made history a couple years ago, and some of the faces that we've seen go through the program, and now a Bearcats team that on senior night, for some of these seniors, will have to go out with a heartbreaking loss at home at night in a snowy game. And there's a reason that the crowd wasn't sold out tonight. There's a reason that Nippert didn't have all the fans in the seats, because it's almost painful to watch at times. Don't even have words for it. But thank you for tuning in again on Bearcast Media. For Jack Ritchie and Ethan Herzog, it's been a pleasure here to end the 2024 season. And there's many more games to be coming up, especially Cincinnati basketball on the rise, and we are ready for that. But again, from Nippert Stadium.